Hello everyone and welcome back to Ruby Tarot. Thank you so much for always following and supporting this channel. The moment you come across this video is the perfect time for you to receive the message meant for you. Here on this channel, I always bring you messages about what is about to unfold in your life. When you open your heart and trust in the positive, you are also aligning yourself with a parallel reality where your wishes have already come true. Today, through this reading, I hope to help you unlock future possibilities and support you on your journey to conquer love and manifest your heart's desires. The theme of today's reading is the meaning behind what's happening and what you truly desire. This reading doesn't focus on what's coming next. Instead, it's all about helping you understand yourself more deeply. By reflecting on what's currently going on, we will uncover the inspiration that can illuminate your soul. Because once you understand what you truly want, the path ahead will naturally reveal itself. I hope you can see today's reading as a chance to contemplate and delve into your own inner world. I've selected 3 cards corresponding to Pile 1, Pile 2, and Pile 3. Listen to your intuition and choose the card you feel most drawn to. Then, click the timestamp in the description to go directly to your reading. Now, let's begin the reading for those of you who have already made your choice. Hello, Pile 1. Thank you for your patience. Now, I will begin the reading for those of you who chose pile number 1. I hope this reading brings you healing, new insights, and moments filled with love. Today's theme is the meaning behind what's happening and what you truly desire. The first card that appeared is Spring, a card full of joy and lightness. Right from the start, a vibrant, positive energy is radiating through. It seems that many of you are currently feeling a genuine sense of happiness, a cheerful and pleasant atmosphere surrounding you. However, following that is the Stuck energy card. This card points to a sense of energy being trapped or immobilized. It could reflect a state of bliss that feels almost too overwhelming, like you've been filled to the brim with contentment, to the point that it starts to restrain you. While that may sound positive, in reality, it could mean you've lost that spark, that thrilling sense of anticipation or urgency you once had. From the outside, others may think you have nothing to worry about. They might see you as someone who has everything: success, good fortune, wishes fulfilled, a person who is living the very life they once dreamed of. And in many ways, that's true. The energy flowing from this reading suggests that you've achieved a lot and probably don't have many complaints about the present. Perhaps you also feel that everything is fine as it is, that this is enough. However, it's precisely this sense of completeness that can sometimes leave you feeling unmotivated. You're still searching for something that truly stirs your heart, but because so much has already been fulfilled, it's difficult to experience that same heart-racing excitement as before. It's as if you're in a state of satisfaction that's just a little too quiet, almost to the point of boredom. However, the Death card appears in reverse, and that carries an especially significant meaning. It indicates that a turning point is approaching, not an ending in the sense of finality, but a profound transformation, as if a new door is about to open. The reading reveals that something in your life is going to shift dramatically, perhaps even unexpectedly, in a way that may leave you astonished, like the entire landscape of your life being suddenly and powerfully reshaped. This is the deeper meaning behind what's currently happening. It signals the beginning of a new phase, a fresh cycle that is preparing to launch you into experiences you've never encountered before. A true rebirth is coming, where you will, in every sense, be born again on an entirely new level of being. So, if you've been feeling unmotivated or sensing that something is missing, even just slightly, it may be because your life is on the brink of a powerful transition. And that very change, even though it hasn't occurred yet, has already begun to stir a subtle sense of unease within you. Perhaps, at a subconscious level, you're afraid of losing what you currently have. A vague fear that if everything changes, you might no longer hold on to the happiness you've created. And yet, on the surface, in your daily conscious awareness, there doesn't seem to be anything particularly troubling. Despite small inconveniences in life, you're still someone who is widely seen as truly fortunate. Many people likely look at you and think, this person really has it all. So, why did the Stuck energy card appear? It may be because you are currently in a state of limbo, unsure whether to move forward or pull back. Everything seems fine on the surface, yet nothing truly stirs your heart. It's as if you're stuck in a gentle swamp, comfortable enough that there's no urgent need to leave, but not captivating enough to keep you excited. You might be deeply in love with someone, yet unable to take things further. You're caught in emotion, pulled into a pit of feelings, an intense love that you can't seem to escape from, yet you don't know how to move forward either. You love this person wholeheartedly, but a barrier between you makes becoming a true couple difficult. And so you fall into a space where you feel both grateful to have this person in your life, yet also uneasy, sensing a lack that you can't quite name. This lingering uncertainty, the lack of direction, the fog that clouds your thoughts, it creates a state where motivation is hard to find. Some days the feeling is stronger, and on other days you might feel fine again. Your mood shifts with time. All of these emotions, gratitude, joy, uncertainty, and worry, are coexisting in your life right now. And that, in itself, is a clear sign of transformation. It seems you can feel it too, that something inside you is shifting, but you're also trying to hold on to something you're not yet ready to release. You might be someone who clearly knows, if only you could let go of this, everything would flow more smoothly. And yet you still can't. Your mind understands perfectly, but your heart holds on. Because sometimes, even something positive can become a hindrance when seen from another perspective. For instance, you may have someone who brings you a sense of safety that is undeniably a good thing. But that very sense of safety, when it becomes too overwhelming, can keep you from stepping out of your comfort zone, making it harder to begin something new. When you wish to challenge yourself, to change something in your life, it's often that same comfort that holds you back, anchoring you to where you are. Everything has two sides, and it seems you're now feeling that polarity within yourself. You're caught between seemingly opposing forces, joy and hesitation, gratitude and quiet unease. And yet, what you're feeling are natural emotions, very human responses, when a person is about to step into a phase of deep transformation. Even though you may still be stuck in the energy of stuck energy, a sensation of being held in place, unable to move forward, the truth is, the dawn is already beginning to break. The appearance of the setting sun card reveals that you are very close to the finish line. Just a little further, and you will pass through the stage. Somewhere within, you may already have a vague sense of the answer. You may already understand that, in time, you will move beyond this. You may feel like you're quietly waiting, like someone stranded in a storm, simply sitting still and waiting for the rescue team to arrive. But the important thing is, you have not lost hope. In facing the challenges before you, it seems that you're still holding on to a certain level of optimism, that somehow things will turn out fine, or that you've already caught a glimpse of the way out. The energy of this reading clearly reflects that. Transformational cards have also appeared, indicating that this is a time of major change, and you are moving through it in a very human way, with all the mixed emotions that naturally accompany the growth of every soul. It could also be said that part of you is still tethered to the past. Or, from another perspective, you may have recently experienced a separation, perhaps a breakup, or a departure from a place you were deeply connected to, such as beginning a new job in an entirely different environment. Right now, there may be a lingering sense of longing. You might find yourself looking back and thinking, that time was truly beautiful, or why didn't I realize I already had everything back then? Or even why did I think that way and make that decision? It seems that recently, you've been carrying a quiet regret over a choice you once made. And so now, we'll go deeper to uncover the true meaning behind what's happening in your life. The reading reveals something quite clearly. Change is coming. And perhaps everything you've been through recently has simply been preparing you, laying the groundwork for a new cycle to begin. One of the cards drawn carries the message, make knowledge your own. Another card that appeared is planning. Both are rich with academic energy, as if the universe is gently urging you. It's time to shift your approach. There's something I can sense strongly here. You may have always been someone who lives guided by emotion, someone who places great trust in intuition. Rather than relying on logic when making important decisions, you've often allowed your heart to lead the way. You might be someone deeply attuned to your inner world or higher energy realms, and because of that, you often move based on feeling or instinct, without needing a concrete reason, just a quiet knowing that it's the right path. However, the outcome of your recent journey may have left you with a lingering sense that something isn't quite right, or perhaps the realization that following your emotions alone might no longer be enough. The message here is that you're being called to harmonize, to integrate both intuition and logic. This isn't about denying your inherent sensitivity, but rather about learning to also draw upon practical wisdom. It's time to systematize your path, create clear plans, define specific goals, and take active control of the direction your life is heading. This marks an evolution in how you harness your inner power, shifting from vague feelings to structured understanding, from spontaneous actions driven by intuition to long-term decisions shaped by vision. Even if you're feeling fairly content, there may still be something missing. Perhaps a spark of excitement, a deeper sense of inner thrill. There's a subtle lack of fire, of genuine passion. And now is the time for you to return to the roots, to rebuild your foundation from the ground up. Until now, you may have mostly lived and acted based on what you felt in the moment, guided by intuition. You've likely leaned heavily on the right hemisphere of the brain, associated with emotion, imagery, and connection, and that has served you well. But now, the energy of the reading strongly emphasizes that it's time to incorporate more from the left hemisphere: logic, knowledge, skills, structure, and the ability to plan. This is not about denying your emotional nature. It's about complementing it with the elements that have been missing, so you can achieve true balance. The contrast between intuition and logic, emotion and structure, is being placed side by side in this reading as a gentle reminder that you are being invited into a journey of integration. The two cards, planning and make knowledge your own, carry a tone of intellect, structure, and grounded practicality, as if the universe is sending a clear message. It's time to develop a more organized mindset, to calculate your steps carefully, and to create clear plans for what lies ahead. This is a call to challenge yourself in a new way, not just by following your feelings, but by also using analysis and strategic thinking. You may be asked now to observe yourself with greater objectivity and to maintain a calm, neutral state in order to see everything more clearly. Your current energetic state resembles a central point, neither leaning toward the yin nor the yang, not fully immersed in emotion but not entirely in logic either. It's a 0 point, a place of equilibrium. And from this place of balance, you get to choose your next step. If you've been living predominantly in the energy of the feminine, gentle, receptive, intuitive, then now, you are likely being invited to step more fully into your masculine energy, decisive, active, directional, and rational. The balance between yin and yang, feminine and masculine, feeling and reasoning, will be the key that unlocks the next chapter of your life. However, as I tune into this energy, I sense that some of you were once deeply grounded in masculine energy, meaning logic, rational thinking, composure, and decisiveness. You may have had a clear, pragmatic, and even cold approach when it came to analyzing situations. But recently, it seems you've started leaning more toward the emotional side. Perhaps you've been making efforts to connect with your feminine energy, trying to soften, to listen more to your intuition, to feel more deeply. And that is by no means wrong. On the contrary, it is a vital part of your inner growth and emotional maturity. Yet the message from the cards is clear. What matters most right now is balance. You're not being asked to abandon any part of yourself, not to reject your emotions in favor of logic, nor to suppress your rational mind for the sake of intuition, but rather to learn how to harmonize the two. Balancing emotion and intellect, intuition and structure, receptivity and initiative, that is the key to unlocking the door to what you truly desire. If you're considering starting something new, this is an ideal time to return to the basics, to learn again from the ground up. Perhaps it's time to take a course, re-engage with an academic setting, or simply begin actively acquiring new knowledge and skills. These will form a sturdy foundation to help your aspirations take tangible shape. The reading also delivers a clear message. Now is the time to move with care and structured thought. Observe things from a broader perspective. Zoom out and see the bigger picture instead of reacting based on fleeting emotions. You may be being called to pause momentarily, take a deep breath, and think carefully before taking your next step. The overall energy of this reading is emphasizing one thing: be cautious. Don't rush into decisions based solely on emotion or instinct. Even if you're someone who naturally follows your feelings, now is the time to pause, observe, and reflect. That step alone is the most crucial one right now. When you do this, you'll begin to see your path with greater clarity, and your actions will become more grounded, focused, and powerful than ever before. If there's something weighing on your heart, whether it's a worry, a hesitation, or a decision you've been unable to make, then that may be exactly what's keeping you stuck. You may feel as though you're being held in place, unable to move forward. That's why the message here is: take a moment to pause, bring your mind into a calm and centered state, and step back to view everything from a more objective angle. When you do, things will begin to make sense. The card The World has appeared. This is one of the most beautiful cards in the deck, symbolizing completion and fulfillment. It means that you will achieve what you desire. However, in order to reach that sense of wholeness, you may still be missing a final piece, something small, yet essential. It might be a bit of knowledge you haven't yet acquired, an experience you've never had, or a skill you still need to refine. And right now is the perfect time to gather that missing piece. When you actively take steps to complete what's lacking, the process of fulfillment will unfold more quickly and smoothly. On the other hand, I also sense that you are very close to the finish line. So close that it may only take one more step, one clear decision for everything to take shape. Although I mentioned earlier that today's reading doesn't focus on future developments, your energy is speaking loudly. The dream, the plan, the vision you're holding on to is about to manifest. What you need to do right now is to approach everything with a more grounded, practical mindset. Face reality with clarity and honesty. If there's something you need to learn, then learn it. If there's a skill you need to improve, begin practicing it now. This may not sound particularly exciting, returning to study, attending a class, reviewing things you've already learned. It might feel tiring, boring, or make you question, is this really necessary? But it is precisely these seemingly simple and small steps that form the essential foundation to bring you closer to your goal. And once you seriously address what needs to be strengthened, the universe will respond with beautiful signs. Unexpected messages, good news, and positive shifts will flow in like waves, pushing you forward. You'll feel it in your bones. Yes, I'm on the right path. And each small step you take today will become the corridor that leads you to complete fulfillment in the future. However, now may be the time for you to gently push yourself a little further, not in a negative or punishing way, but by introducing the discipline necessary to surpass your previous limits. For example, you could try doing things you're not used to or even the things you've often avoided. This is the moment to face those challenges and stretch yourself beyond what feels comfortable. Because it's exactly when you step into what once intimidated or felt unfamiliar that your world begins to expand. The World card doesn't just represent completion. It also signifies the opening of a much larger, more expansive reality that awaits your entry. But to step into that realm, you must first gather the tools and experiences you'll need, and those are found in the form of new challenges, practical efforts, and intentional growth. In the next 1 to 2 months, you are encouraged to focus your energy on gathering information, setting clear plans, accumulating knowledge, and refining your skills. Discipline will be important during this time, even if it feels a bit pressuring at first. Think of this period as a short phase of training, because what you build during this time will later become the foundation for a powerful turning point in your life. The card also signals that good news is on its way, potentially in the form of opportunities related to contracts, commitments, or the opening of a new door in your career, relationships, or personal goals. This new path may begin to unfold around 3 to 4 months from now, marking a phase of noticeable transformation in your life. That's why, over the next 1 to 2 months, you're encouraged to begin taking practical action, no matter how small or large, as long as these steps are directed toward filling the gaps you've identified. Whether it's gaining more knowledge, creating a solid plan, or committing to personal development, the more deliberate you are in laying this groundwork, the more powerfully change will unfold. As was expressed at the very beginning of this reading, a new chapter, fresh and full of possibility, is waiting for you. Think of this phase as your chance to gather the missing pieces of your own puzzle. And once those pieces are in place, you'll be ready to finally grasp the dream you've been nurturing for so long. That's why I also sense that many of you may be feeling an unexpected spark right now, a sudden inner urge to begin something new, as if a light has flickered in your heart saying, "Why don't I give this a try?" If such an idea is calling to you, step forward with courage. Give yourself permission to explore. Dive into what excites your curiosity, what stirs your sense of wonder, because new experiences are the very gateway to your future. Additionally, the energy of this reading indicates that you will have the opportunity to receive valuable guidance from various people around you. Open your heart to the relationships in your life, and be mindful of expanding your network over the next 1 to 2 months. This could mean reconnecting with someone you haven't spoken to in a while or branching out to build new social circles in fresh directions. Because it's highly likely that the information or opportunity you've been seeking will come through another person, not by coincidence, but through a conversation, a recommendation, or a chance exchange. These opportunities are inclined to arrive through connection, through acquaintances, through dialogue, through interaction. That's why getting yourself out there, both literally and figuratively, will bring good fortune. If in-person interactions aren't your comfort zone, that's perfectly okay. Choose forms of communication that feel right for you. It could be through online conversations or connecting in virtual spaces where you don't have to appear face-to-face. Joining an online community, a virtual salon, or a group centered around shared interests would be an excellent choice at this time. What matters most is allowing yourself to connect with those who resonate on a similar energetic frequency, people who can offer inspiration, alignment, and even the precious information you may be seeking. This is a period when a guide, a signpost, or a messenger will likely appear through the very relationships you're willing to welcome into your life. And through these connections, the path ahead will become increasingly clear. For example, participating in online games could also become a meaningful way for you to expand your social circle. When you connect with others, your mind naturally opens, gaining new insights, perspectives, and understanding that enrich your inner world. Every encounter carries a seed, a subtle suggestion, an opportunity, or simply a fresh wave of inspiration. That's why being more open to the world around you right now is strongly encouraged. The reading also presents you with an important question. Are you currently yearning to discover the one thing you truly want to devote your whole heart to? It's as if you're searching for that singular passion, that thing that makes your heart beat faster, that gives your life a sense of meaning and motivation each day. Perhaps you're longing to move towards something more genuine, more profound, something that you truly love and deeply desire to pursue from the depths of your soul. It's possible that some of you are feeling torn between multiple choices. Perhaps there are several people who have caught your attention romantically, but now you sense it's time to get clear about who you truly want to build a relationship with. Or in terms of career and passion, you may be standing at a crossroads with several paths before you, and you're longing to discover which one is truly yours. The overall energy suggests that you're currently in a relatively stable place. There may be no major problems in your life, but deep down, there's still a yearning to pour yourself wholeheartedly into something. You want to feel that passion again, that sense of aliveness, that rush of excitement when your heart races with anticipation. You may have experienced a time like that in the past, when you were completely immersed in something, fully dedicated to a pursuit, and now, you find yourself longing to return to that state. It's not that you're rejecting your present life, but you remember a brighter, bolder version of yourself from before, and you want to reconnect with that spirit. Maybe you used to be more focused, more intense, and now you crave to reignite that fire. So it's no surprise that during this period, you might feel a strong urge to invest your energy into something specific, a relationship, a creative project, or a journey of personal growth. Because it's exactly that, your true passion, that will be the key to reigniting your sense of excitement, vitality, and the deepest, most authentic connection with yourself. So now, let's listen closely to the voice within you. What is it that your heart is truly yearning for at this moment? The card that has appeared is the Ten of Pentacles, but it's in the reversed position, bringing with it two distinct and powerful messages. First, it seems that many of you are currently carrying a strong desire to take action, to make things tangible, grounded, and clear. You may have previously engaged deeply in spiritual practices, praying under the moonlight, visiting temples, performing rituals to manifest your desires, or using visualization techniques to attract what you longed for. However, at this moment, you're starting to feel the need to step away from those things, not because you reject them, but because you now feel called to do something more concrete, more visible. You no longer want to just sit and dream. You want to see your hands actually doing something in the real world. You may be coming to the realization that manifesting your dreams doesn't rely on faith alone. It also requires action. The feeling you hold now is, I've prayed, I've wished, I've connected with the universe, but now it's time for me to take the first step myself, even if it's something small. It's also possible that some of you have begun to feel a sense of doubt or a growing distance from the mystical or spiritual aspects of life. It's not that you've stopped believing, but rather that you're entering a phase where reason and practicality are starting to speak more loudly. And there's nothing wrong with that. In fact, as the reading has emphasized from the beginning, the core message is balance. Spirituality and reality are not in opposition. They are two arms of the same body. But at this moment, the practical side of you is calling out to be seen, acknowledged, and nurtured. Perhaps you've always lived with a sense of magic, deeply believing in the universe, in rituals, in the power of prayer. But now, you're beginning to realize that in order for dreams to become reality, you must bring them down to earth. You must act as if the magic is real, not just wait for it to appear. You want to touch reality, to see visible results, not just feel them in your heart. And maybe that's why you've returned to tarot after a long pause, or why you're approaching spiritual tools now with more caution than before. That's okay. It simply means you're maturing, stepping into a new phase where you no longer live on hope alone, but on the strength of your own actions and inner belief. And this very awareness is opening up a powerful opportunity for you, a new chapter that is more grounded, more stable, and rich with constructive potential. I also sense something else. You may be reaching a point where you no longer want to simply sit and sketch out ideal dreams. You're beginning to think it's time to take real action, I can't just keep imagining or wishing forever. There's a quiet flame inside you now, a desire for true change, a longing to create a visible, tangible shift in your life. Alongside this, there's another strong current of energy present, a feeling of emotional exhaustion from people. You may be feeling worn out from having to interact with too many individuals or from being overly influenced by the opinions, advice, or even expectations of others. It might not be the presence of many voices, but just one voice, one person, who holds such power over you that it becomes difficult to stand firmly in your own identity and maintain your personal perspective. You may be in a state of feeling lost, no longer sure if you're truly living in alignment with your authentic self. You might possess remarkable talents, yet due to the influence of someone, whether intentional or not, you've been unable to express them fully. It could be the pressure of family expectations, societal norms, financial concerns, or the weight of status and power. Whatever form it takes, the feeling of being suppressed, controlled, and limited in your ability to express yourself freely is slowly wearing you down. Once again, the message returns to the central keyword: balance. That is the essence of everything you're going through right now. Balance between living true to yourself and meeting the expectations of others. Balance between listening to your inner emotions and taking grounded, practical steps in the outer world. Balance between using your mind to assess and allowing your intuition to lead the way. The reading reveals two significant messages appearing simultaneously. Yes, you are on the right path, and opportunity, a meaningful chance, is approaching. These affirmations strengthen the core message. Trust in your journey, but also take time to reflect on what may be pulling you off center. Perhaps you've been leaning too far into pleasing others or being overly harsh with yourself in an effort to meet external standards. Right now, the most important thing isn't choosing between one side or the other, but learning how to stand firmly in the middle, where you can be true to yourself while maintaining relationships, where both logic and emotion have space, and where action and understanding coexist. When you find that point of balance, doors will begin to open, and you'll start to understand why everything has unfolded the way it has. Alongside this, there's another clear message present. Continue to honor the unseen, the spiritual, the intuitive, the energetic connection you have with the universe, but at the same time, take tangible steps in the physical world. At the heart of it all, everything circles back to one core truth: you need to maintain balance. This reading affirms that you are currently being offered a precious opportunity, perhaps a long-awaited job offer, or a destined encounter with someone you've always hoped to meet. The very things you once dreamed of, the ones you held in your heart so dearly, are drawing closer to you now. And one thing is emphasized clearly: you are capable of seizing this opportunity. However, in order to truly receive and hold on to this opportunity, the most essential element remains balance. It may sound repetitive, but this truth must be deeply remembered. You need balance in every aspect of your life, from how you manage your personal energy, how you take action, how you connect reason and emotion, how you navigate between the material and the spiritual, and how you reconcile your individual identity with the wisdom you gain from the world around you. The reading does not ask you to deny anything, not your emotions, nor your logic, not your vulnerabilities, nor your strength. Everything needs to be acknowledged as part of who you are. And that is the message of inner union, a unification that begins within. Accept both the masculine and feminine aspects within you. Embrace even the parts of yourself you once believed weren't good enough. Because from a different perspective, what you consider a flaw might actually be your greatest strength. When you begin to embrace your whole self, not rejecting, not fragmenting, but integrating and uniting, that is when you begin to live in alignment with your true center. And from that place, you'll know how to choose everything in your life with clarity, confidence, and freedom. Now you are ready. Ready to no longer feel scattered between choices, no longer torn between this or that. Instead, you can choose everything gracefully, consciously, from the point of balance within yourself. This is the moment you step into a new phase, a phase of integration, maturity, and empowered decision-making. And yet, I can feel very clearly that this is a time when opportunity and financial abundance are beginning to find their way to you. The people you are about to meet, the work or projects you're about to begin, all of it is guiding you toward a path of prosperity and success. Now, let's go a little deeper into the voice that lives in your heart. At this moment, a powerful message is rising to the surface. Have you once given so much of yourself to someone, not just through your actions, but with your whole heart and soul, and deep down, quietly hope to be seen for it? Perhaps you've never voiced it, and you certainly didn't act for the sake of praise, but there's a part of you that has longed to be recognized, to be truly understood, to have someone acknowledge your presence and your worth. It's not only about wanting others to notice your efforts, it's about the deeper wish that someone would genuinely appreciate your existence. That feeling may have been with you for a long time, tucked away deep inside, quietly shaping not just what you do, but also how you feel. But the message in this reading is crystal clear. Now is the time to channel all of your energy and effort back into yourself. No longer striving for someone else's recognition. No longer pushing to prove your worth to anyone. From this point forward, every action, every effort, every expression of love, let it be for you, from you, and rooted in the deepest part of your own heart. And the beautiful truth is, you have already been recognized. You are already an irreplaceable part of a certain environment, a group, or a relationship. You may not have fully realized it yet, but in reality, there are people who see you as someone truly important, someone who cannot be replaced. You don't need to try harder to earn that recognition, because it's already yours. Now let everything you do, everything you choose, everything you pursue, stem from your love for yourself. Transform all that you once gave so generously to others into a gift you now offer to yourself. When you do this, you will see the doors begin to open, doors to new opportunities, to meaningful validation, and to abundance, all flowing toward you effortlessly. Because you've worked so hard, built so much, and nurtured so deeply to get to where you are now, it's only natural to feel a bit nervous as you prepare to step into what you truly desire. But this reading affirms, with quiet strength, now is the time to live for yourself, no longer bound by external molds or expectations. The King of Wands has appeared, and it carries a powerfully clear message. You are the leader, the one who shines and inspires others simply through your presence. When you stand firmly in your true values, those around you are naturally drawn to you and willingly follow your lead. Not because you try to attract them, but because you are the flame. You carry the essence of leadership, inner confidence, and the ability to ignite transformation. What's remarkable is that both your energy and your aura closely mirror the image of this card. It's as if you've already become the very person you once only dreamed of becoming. You have been quietly, steadfastly sculpting yourself, elevating your sense of worth, and walking your path of growth with unwavering resilience. Even at the beginning of this reading, when it was mentioned that you may need to push yourself a little more, it's now clearer than ever. You've already been incredibly devoted and disciplined with yourself for a long time. You are someone who has overcome immense challenges, who knows the weight of pressure and the cost of sacrifice. You understand discipline. You understand responsibility. And perhaps that's why you've often been too hard on yourself. But now, the message from this reading comes with a gentle invitation. It's time to let go a little. Not to give up, but to trust. Trust in the path you're walking. Trust in who you've become. Allow yourself to live as your whole, authentic self, not with tension, not with the need to fix or perfect anything further. Because you are already enough. You have been and still are walking the right path. And you can absolutely continue this journey just as you are now. There's no need to become someone else. Simply being yourself, the self that has matured through countless efforts, the soul that has experienced and learned without rest, is more than enough for the universe to support you, for every door to open naturally, and for your life to move toward the light you so fully deserve. So the message being sent to you now is this: begin to lead your own life. I sense that it's not a lack of confidence holding you back. You are not weak, nor do you doubt yourself, but perhaps you fear being too confident. Perhaps you worry that if you feel satisfied too soon, you'll lose the motivation to grow further. And because of that, you've unconsciously become strict with yourself, constantly pushing to try harder, to do more, to become better. Yet the reading is gently reminding you, you are already enough. You don't need to keep straining yourself. You have been seen. Everything you hold, your abilities, your character, your kindness, has been and continues to be recognized, appreciated, and honored. And what matters most now is that you recognize that too. Allow yourself to feel a sense of wholeness, not because you've stopped growing, but because what you've built is already so solid, so complete, that you don't need to fear running empty just because you pause to rest. The card Empower the Flow and the message Face Life More Gently are reminding you that perhaps deep inside, there's still a belief that you need to try harder, do better. But in truth, the universe is asking you to relax. Not to give up your efforts, but to trust more. Not to stop striving, but to live with gratitude, knowing that you have already done enough. You don't need to chase perfection. You already are a beautiful embodiment, complete with your imperfections and your inner light. Perhaps for a long time, you've lived with the mindset, I need to be better, I need to improve, to become more worthy. But now, the universe is gently saying, you are already whole. You are already a wonderful version of yourself, right here, right now. It is this very desire to always do more that has brought you far and allowed you to achieve so much. But now, you may no longer need to continue under the same weight of pressure. Be kinder to yourself. Believe that you have enough, that you are enough, and that you deserve all the good that comes your way, even when you stop fighting and begin to simply allow. Because sometimes, the most powerful transformations happen in stillness, in a space where you no longer try to control everything, but instead, simply trust and allow yourself to fully live as you are. So this also means that there have been times when you pushed yourself, not for your own growth, but to prove something to someone else. You've been in that space before, haven't you? But now, there's no need for that anymore. You are enough, and the universe's answer is, yes, you are worthy. As I mentioned earlier, just stay mindful of that inner balance. That alone is more than enough. The universe is recognizing you. You've already accomplished so much, and all that's left is for you to acknowledge it, too. Once you do, those around you will naturally begin to see your value. Often, when we feel unseen, it's because we haven't truly seen ourselves yet. And again, this circles back to the concept of integration and inner harmony we spoke about from the very beginning. Braveness. I am brave. Let yourself shine with dignity and strength. I can feel this message clearly. Live with confidence, with courage, and with your truest essence. You are undoubtedly someone who works hard and gives your all, aren't you? Explore your options. Another message that's come through is to broaden your perspective, explore new paths, new directions. This shows that learning new things and equipping yourself with new skills is especially important at this time. But don't misunderstand this as meaning that your dreams won't come true if you don't already have all of that. That's not the case. It's not about lacking something that will prevent your wish from manifesting. What matters most is that you keep learning, keep growing, and keep trusting in your own inherent value. You are in no way lesser than anyone else when compared side by side. What matters most is that you have the courage to believe in yourself. The bravery to place your trust in the universe. For example, if there's something you don't feel like doing, instead of forcing yourself to push through at all costs, allow yourself to say, it's okay, I don't have to do it today. Let yourself enjoy the moment. Let everything flow gently. To speak clearly, the core message of this entire reading, what the universe most wants you to hear, is this. Learn to acknowledge yourself. Try, even just once, to truly recognize who you are. Because when you do, you'll realize that you have always been a perfect version of yourself. And from that realization, you may come to see that many of the things you once wished for have already, in some form, come true. I believe you are someone who always longs to expand, to grow, to evolve continuously. That's why you may often ask yourself, is there something more I can pursue? Something I can refine or develop further? And I think that's beautiful. But before you move forward again, allow yourself to pause just for a moment to look back at all the effort you've poured into your journey so far. Praise yourself. Acknowledge your dedication with a gentle and grateful heart, not with the usual harshness, but with warmth and appreciation. Because even though this reading spoke about pushing to the edge, the message was never about driving yourself to exhaustion. Rather, it's an invitation to observe yourself calmly and objectively, to see what you need to strengthen, what you might gently adjust, and that alone is enough. No heavy pressure is needed. Just a little gentleness, paired with awareness, and that's more than enough. Perhaps, in the end, it all circles back to this simple truth. Face life more gently. That's what truly matters. And so now, I'd like to close today's reading with one final message from the higher realms, one meant for you, right here and now. I wondered which card to pull, and here it is. Liberation, be at peace and let go. What a perfect alignment, as this message resonates completely with everything that has come before. Be gentle with yourself. This card is telling you, you don't need to keep striving. It may be time to let go, even of the things you've poured so much effort into holding on to. Especially the things you've done only for others, to please someone, to meet expectations out of duty or responsibility. It's time now to release those burdens. Let yourself rest. Let yourself be free. Let yourself live. You may still be carrying limiting beliefs such as, I have to be a certain way to be accepted, or if I'm not like this, no one will love me. If these thoughts still linger in your heart, take a moment to look inward, to understand that you have always been worthy of love, even without trying to become anyone else. You are worthy simply by being who you truly are. You are also someone with the ability to guide and illuminate the way for others. Because of that, you're often entrusted with expectations, responsibilities, and the invisible weight of many unspoken burdens. But it's also because you were born with powerful energy, a natural capacity to hold and carry more than most. What matters now is that you recognize this truth so you can begin to discern what is no longer necessary. Ask yourself, what can I put down? What no longer serves me? And slowly, piece by piece, you will begin to step out of the old shell, returning to yourself, free, whole, and full of light. And when you finally release what no longer serves you, when your hands feel lighter and more at ease, use that newfound space to invest in yourself, to develop a skill, to learn something you truly love. That alone is enough. Trust yourself more. Allow yourself the freedom to fully open up, to expand without hesitation. When you dare to live openly and truthfully with yourself, your life may begin to shift in profound ways. You will start to uncover what it is you truly want to do. And from within, you'll feel the courage rise to pursue it with boldness and clarity. For you, one of the most important things in the next 12 months may be learning to make a habit of celebrating yourself. Not through pressure, not through constant critique or self-judgment, but through gentle encouragement, by offering yourself one small word of praise each day. Even something as simple as a single compliment to yourself daily, no matter how small, can begin to spark real change. Because in truth, the people around you already recognize and admire you. If anyone has spoken to you with what seemed like criticism or high expectations, it's only because they see your potential. They believe you can go even further, soar even higher, and so they hope to see you rise into everything you are capable of becoming. In truth, it is your own deep desire for growth that has naturally attracted teachers, those who have the ability to point out where you can refine and improve. But once you begin to recognize yourself, once you affirm your own worth, you will step into a softer world, a world where you can truly live with a heart at peace and a spirit at ease. And still, I believe you are someone who always seeks to evolve and elevate yourself. For that reason, a little stimulation, a gentle challenge, will always be necessary. Everything is about balance, isn't it? If there were no pressure, no drive at all, life might feel dull, lacking spark and joy. So perhaps what you need most now is to find a healthy balance between surrender and challenge, between rest and pursuit, in order to maintain your sense of purpose and inspiration each day. Thank you so much for tuning in to today's reading. Keep moving forward with steadfast confidence and the courage to trust yourself. Because that is what your truest self wants to remind you right now. That deep yearning within has always been to believe in yourself, to walk your chosen path with conviction and courage. And I believe, with all my heart, that this is the answer you've been searching for. If you enjoyed this reading, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and show your support by clicking like on the video. Your encouragement is a powerful source of motivation that allows me to continue bringing you more meaningful content. If something in this message touched your heart, I invite you to leave a comment or even a small symbol, just so I know it reached you. I always look forward to reading your thoughts, so please don't hesitate to share what's on your mind. Thank you for staying with me until the end. I'll see you again in the next reading.
Hello, Pile 2.
Thank you for waiting. Now, I'll begin the reading for those of you who chose pile number 2. I hope this session brings you healing, fresh insights, and moments filled with warmth and love. Today's theme is the meaning behind what's happening and what you truly desire. First, let's take a look at your present energy. The cards drawn are 5 of Pentacles, 5 of Cups, and the King of Swords in reverse. These cards clearly reflect the situation you may currently be facing. It feels as though you are in a state of heightened self-protection, cautious, guarded, as if you've closed yourself off out of fear of being hurt again. I sense that you're being strongly influenced by a past memory or wound. Perhaps you went through something that left you heartbroken, disappointed, or deeply wounded. And now, whenever you try to make a decision or wish for something for yourself, a wave of unease rises within you, as if something from behind is pulling you back. Perhaps it's because you once failed in a decision from the past, and the fear of repeating that failure is now holding you back. Or maybe you're afraid that if you choose to follow your own desires, someone else might get hurt. Whatever the reason may be, you're currently carrying a very clear feeling. You know that a decision needs to be made, but you're hesitating, proceeding with extreme caution. It's possible that you're in a situation where time won't allow for too much delay. Perhaps a deadline is approaching, or someone is waiting for your answer. Or maybe you haven't told anyone about this at all, and are keeping all your confusion to yourself, leaving your mind heavy and clouded. Whatever the case, the most evident truth right now is that you feel caught between desire and fear, between wanting to move forward and being gripped by uncertainty. And what you need most at this moment is clarity, not only from the outside, but from deep within yourself. Maybe that's exactly what this is about. What you truly need is to clarify your own emotions. I sense that there's still something you haven't fully grasped or come to understand. Something that keeps your feelings vague and unsettled. You are someone who is very rational, someone with the ability to assess things calmly and make decisions carefully. However, it's possible that you've experienced a situation where, even after thinking things through with great care, the outcome still didn't meet your expectations. Or perhaps even recently, something similar happened. You considered your options, made your choice, and yet everything unfolded in a way that left you wondering if you had made the wrong decision after all. This reading clearly reflects that you are currently standing before a decision, yet you find yourself unable to make it with confidence. Part of this hesitation comes from how much you care about others, their emotions, their place in your life, and part of it stems from painful memories that have shaken your trust in your own choices. Whether it concerns work, relationships, or another significant life decision, you're being stretched between the desire to move forward and the fear of repeating past wounds. I sense that you are someone with a sharp intellect, clear-minded, and highly capable of analysis. And yet, because of this strength, you may also tend to overthink, which makes it difficult to take action or reach a decisive conclusion. You might naturally be quite intuitive, someone with a sensitive inner compass, but at the moment it seems that intuition has gone quiet. And when you can't hear the voice within, your mind tries to compensate, thinking more, searching harder for the answer. But the more you think, the more unclear everything becomes. Perhaps what you need right now isn't another reason to weigh or analyze, but a quiet space to reconnect with yourself, to feel rather than dissect, to listen to your heart instead of spinning endlessly in the maze of thought. Because sometimes, clarity doesn't come from thinking harder, it comes from allowing yourself to trust what you truly feel. Regarding the meaning behind what's happening in your life right now, the cards Queen of Wands and Seven of Pentacles have appeared. From this, I sense something very clearly. You are about to enter a phase where the light begins to shine directly upon you, as if you're becoming the center of attention. There's a strong energy of transformation unfolding, like a coin flipping from its shadowed side to its illuminated one, everything shifting from hazy to clear, from dim to radiant. I feel this is a powerful turning point, a moment when you'll begin to feel a tangible shift in your energetic frequency. A new phase is beginning, much like a cloudy sky suddenly clearing. You'll no longer be surrounded by doubt or confusion, but instead feel a sense of momentum, fresh opportunities, and perhaps even new responsibilities. The Queen of Wands signals that you are stepping into a place of greater agency, confidence, and brilliance than ever before. You're not only being seen, you're also being entrusted with something more significant. And in that, there's a surge of inspiration rising within you, as if a long-dormant flame has suddenly burst back into life. I also see the image of supportive companions beginning to appear around you. The symbolism of the lion and the cat on the card suggests that you are not alone on this journey. You are attracting people who share your frequency, your goals, your desires. These are individuals ready to walk beside you, to support you, and to be part of your growth and transformation. And I feel this very strongly as well. It seems you are not truly content with where you are now. There is a deep longing to go further, to rise to the next level, to become a greater, more aligned version of yourself. This is why you feel the need to make a decision. An important decision, to step out of your comfort zone and reach for something bigger, something that feels more worthy of your true potential. There's a clear sense that what is happening in your life right now is not a problem, but rather a stepping stone, a threshold leading you into a new phase. A vibrant phase, where you'll shine, where others will place their trust in you, look to you, believe in you. This isn't just about a shift in your external environment, it's a transformation from within, as if you're being elevated to a higher place, one that more accurately reflects your true strength and potential. However, there's another truth that stands out just as clearly. Everything you've achieved in the past, though remarkable, admirable, and deeply worthy of pride, still hasn't left you feeling entirely fulfilled. You don't deny your accomplishments, you honor them. But deep within, you know there's something more waiting for you ahead. There's a quiet voice inside whispering, there's still a higher peak to climb. there's still a vast sky you long to soar into. You want to see an entirely different horizon. Even if the seeds you've sown have bloomed into beautiful flowers, you're not content to stop there. You're ready to break through. You want to witness yourself as a more radiant, daring, and liberated version of who you are. In your work, perhaps it's no longer enough just to do well. You crave a real challenge. You want to step beyond the familiar and touch something that makes your soul tremble with recognition, that makes you say, yes, this is what I'm truly meant to be doing. Or in love, you may find yourself no longer able to accept halfway connections, relationships without clarity. You long for something real, a connection where you can trust, be wholly yourself, and love with your entire heart. That's why I sense that you're longing to clear away the ambiguity, the lingering, undefined knots, so you can pave the way for an entirely new journey. A journey where things won't just feel sufficient, but aligned with your true self, your deepest desires, and your authentic values. It feels like you are standing on the edge of something significant, just one step away from fruition, from seeing your efforts finally bear fruit. And because you are so close to that threshold, you can feel the restlessness building within you, like a shedding that must happen before you can evolve. An old phase is drawing to a close, and a new chapter, one where you'll shine in your truest form, is waiting for you. What's being asked of you now may be to release something, perhaps an outdated belief system, a relationship that no longer aligns with your growth, or a work or a living environment that no longer uplifts you. When you dare to step away from those things, the path toward a brighter, more authentic life will unfold before you with unprecedented clarity. The haziness and hesitation you're feeling may, in truth, be a natural response to a pending transformation. Just before stepping into a new world, we often feel unsettled because the mind is reacting to the change it senses on the horizon. Now, let's go deeper and explore why this feeling of uncertainty and indecision is arising. If something is still holding you back, what is it? The Three of Cups has appeared, and I sense that a significant part of your inner conflict stems from your surrounding environment, from your friends, family, colleagues, or the community you belong to. You may be someone who is very attuned to how others perceive you, someone who puts great effort into living up to the expectations placed upon you. And because of that, whenever you're about to make an important decision, the gaze of others, whether spoken or silent, can become a source of invisible pressure. You might often compare yourself to others in terms of status, age, accomplishments, and then begin to question whether the path you're considering is truly the right one. Questions like, at this age, should I really be choosing that? Or maybe I should go with the safer route, like everyone else does, may echo in your mind. Alongside this is a fear of disconnection. You may be afraid that by choosing a different path, you'll become isolated, left behind by your circle. Or perhaps you're thinking about someone in particular, a close friend, a family member, and you don't want your decision to cause them pain or disappointment. Whatever the reason may be, one thing is clear: you are someone deeply compassionate, someone who genuinely considers the needs of others, and because of that, you often place your own needs last. But right now, the universe is asking you to put yourself first, not out of selfishness, but because it is the most honest and respectful thing you can do for your soul's journey. Looking at this card, I feel that perhaps you don't want to disappoint those around you, those you consider teammates, loved ones, or soul companions. You might be carrying the weight of expectation, believing that you're not allowed to let them down, not allowed to take a step that might go against what they hoped for you. Alongside this, you may also be feeling a quiet urgency, a subtle anxiety. Perhaps you've been watching others around you, friends, family, gradually achieving things you once dreamed of for yourself. You're happy for them. You genuinely celebrate their success. But somewhere in your heart, a whisper of longing and a tinge of envy rise to the surface. And then you begin to compare. You begin to ask yourself, can I achieve that too? Are those beautiful things really meant for me as well? I sense that you've been caught in the gravitational pull of others, living according to their standards, expectations, or rhythms instead of truly listening to the desires within your own heart. And yet, when I look ahead at your energetic path, I see a clear shift taking place. You will begin to realign with your core values. You will return to your own center. Instead of chasing after others, you'll begin turning inward, listening to and honoring what you truly want. Gradually, you'll start creating happiness for yourself in an independent way, free from comparison, free from the need for validation. And perhaps this is the time for you to reflect on the distance between yourself and the people around you. Not everyone who is close to you is meant to walk the same path. Each person has their own life, their own soul, their own journey. That's why creating healthy boundaries, redefining the space between yourself and your environment, is essential now. It will allow you to reconnect with your true self, to live more authentically, and to find joy on your own terms, on your own path. To truly live in alignment with your core values, it's essential that you begin to recognize, this person thinks that way, and then adjust the distance between you and them accordingly. No matter who that person may be, a close friend, a trusted colleague, or even your current partner, you must remember that if you lose your own unique color, the very charm and magnetism that define you will slowly begin to fade. Even if you're drawn to someone or something right now, this is a time to turn your gaze back toward yourself. Pay attention to what genuinely resonates with you, what reflects the truest version of who you are. This is a pivotal moment, one where you'll begin to value your individuality and personal essence more deeply than ever before. There's a strong feeling that you are becoming a symbol of something significant, as if you're being prepared to step into a role of influence and visibility. That's why, although I had initially intended to focus solely on uncovering what it is you truly desire, the energy of your future is so powerful that it has begun to mirror your deepest inner longings all on its own. So, for those of you who chose this group, I believe it's more fitting for us to begin by looking toward your future, specifically the version of yourself you're growing into and the phase you're about to enter. From there, we can more clearly understand what your heart truly desires. With that in mind, I'm going to shift the flow of this reading slightly. Now, we'll draw a few more cards to explore your future self. When I asked, what does this mean? The answer that appeared was fascinating: the Devil in reverse. This is a powerful sign that you are being liberated, truly liberated. So, what kind of version of yourself will you become in the future? To begin with, it seems that up until now, you've been bound by invisible chains. Not because someone else tied you down, but because you've been the one wrapping those chains around yourself, chains made of expectations and the weight of constantly needing to please others. You've feared that if you weren't there, someone else wouldn't be okay. You've worried that your departure or your change might hurt someone you care about. And those thoughts have turned into mental chains, subtle, emotional bonds that have quietly held you back and kept you from moving freely forward. In some cases, it's also possible that someone truly did try to control or bind you, but even if that's the case, what matters most is that you allowed it to happen. No one can put you in a box and lock it away unless, on some level, you permit it. And so, you entered that space of limitation as a way to seek safety, to avoid abandonment, to feel like you mattered in someone else's life. But now, you're slowly breaking free from all of that. You are being released from both external and internal bindings. And I can feel that someone is about to appear, someone who will help lift you up, who will walk with you as you reclaim your freedom. This person may act as a guide, a small vessel that helps you cross stagnant waters and set sail toward a wider, more expansive ocean. Yes, the feeling is very clear. Someone is reaching out to you, as if the universe itself is saying, "Come here." It might arrive in the form of an opportunity, an invitation, or simply a sign that reminds you, you are not alone. And whatever it may be, it carries with it a deeply positive energy, as though any choice you make from this point forward has the power to open bright and promising new doors. The card taking steps has appeared in reverse, normally a symbol of gradual progress, but in this case, it carries a very different message. You no longer need to take cautious, slow steps forward. Once you're liberated from whatever has been holding you back, you'll experience an immediate leap, as if you're springing to a whole new level of your life. The energy is like that of the Queen of Wands, a woman who knows exactly who she is, who trusts her intuition, and who lives with radiant confidence, magnetism, and vitality. What's holding you back may not be an external situation at all, but rather deep-seated beliefs and thought patterns within you. Things like, I should do this for them, I need to live this way so no one gets hurt, or I must stay to help that person. Though these thoughts may have stemmed from kindness, they've quietly become chains that are keeping you confined in a space far too small for the magnitude of your true potential. Once you are freed from those internal bindings, you will soar, not just metaphorically, but in a real and profound ascension in both energy and life. And notably, it won't be just one person. You may find 3 or even 4 individuals entering your world, each playing a pivotal role in this journey. They will serve as key catalysts, guiding you toward clarity, encouraging your transformation, or simply inspiring you by the way they live in alignment with their truth. When this shift begins to unfold, your core energy will become passion and devotion, a stark contrast to the unconscious self-sacrifice and restriction that once defined your path. Now, You will live for yourself, with a heart ablaze for what you truly love and a spirit dedicated to what is genuinely worthy of your energy. It is a powerful and beautiful transformation. Everything happening now doesn't mean you've been living inauthentically. It simply means that you are gradually stepping into a fiercer, more radiant version of yourself. A version that dares to live fully, with passion, love, and wholehearted devotion. You're beginning to pour your energy and focus into something you truly love, and because of that, you are no longer held back by hesitation or caution the way you once were. The energy surrounding you now is no longer one of restraint or hesitation. It is freedom, lightness, and fluidity. The shackles that once slowed you down have been released. You are no longer fumbling through it all alone, as there are now people ready to walk beside you, to uplift, support, and share the weight. Even if you're focusing all your energy on a specific goal, other areas of your life will be cared for by those around you, allowing you the peace of mind to pour your heart into what you truly want to do. A new environment like this is approaching, one where you no longer have to tread carefully or seek permission to be yourself. A space where you can dedicate yourself fully to what ignites your spirit. A space where you naturally become someone others admire and pay attention to, not because you're trying to stand out, but because the light within you is finally unbound and glowing freely. So the question becomes, is this truly what you desire? Let's turn to the next cards for confirmation. Look for a sign and wait for the right time. These two messages suggest that you may be leaning toward the belief that things will unfold in their own time, or that everything will work itself out eventually. Perhaps you're waiting for a clear signal from the universe to tell you when it's time to act. And maybe, deep down, you're still waiting for the perfect moment before allowing yourself to fully, unapologetically live. But if you remain in a state of waiting without taking deliberate steps forward, will that miracle ever truly arrive? What you're feeling, what you're on the verge of experiencing, isn't some distant dream. It's a potential already burning inside of you, ready to ignite. What's needed now may not be more time. It may be the willingness to listen to the signs within and to begin moving. Right now, if you find yourself wrestling with a decision or caught in uncertainty, feeling vague dissatisfaction or a confusion you can't quite name, it may be leading you into a passive state where you surrender to the current and say, let's just see what happens. You may find yourself thinking, I'll just let things play out. It will all make sense eventually. The Loving Man card appears in reverse, and with it, an older version of yourself comes into view quite clearly. Regardless of your gender, it seems that the masculine energy within you has long been dominant. The part of you that gives freely, takes initiative, stands at the forefront, motivates others, brings smiles and joy to those around you. You've been the one who acts first, who leads the way. And you've done all of it with sincerity and love. But now, the feeling is you're tired. Not that you want to abandon that version of yourself entirely, but it seems you've reached a point where you long for rest. You want to be cherished. You want to take the seat of the receiver, rather than always being the giver. As though you're beginning to yearn for a deeper connection with your feminine energy, the gentle, soft, vulnerable part of you, rich with emotion and magnetic in its quiet power. And the beautiful thing is, this aligns perfectly with what we've already seen. The presence of those who are coming into your life to lift you up, to support you, to allow you to receive, to be loved, to be held. Perhaps you've played that role for others in the past. Now is the time for you to allow yourself to receive it in return. Even if you haven't fully realized this consciously, something deep within your subconscious is beginning to crave softness, freedom, and the release from always having to be the strong one, always having to lead. You are on a journey of transformation, from the constant giver to someone who is now ready to open their heart and receive love, care, and tenderness from the world. And that is a truly beautiful journey. If you're someone who resonates deeply with intuition, I believe you'll understand this very clearly, because when we tune in at a deeper level, at the level of soul and subconscious, it becomes evident that you're weary of the role you've been carrying for so long. It's not just fatigue, it's a quiet exhaustion, as though you've poured all your energy into upholding a certain image, a responsibility, a mission that now, you just want to set down for a while. Perhaps you no longer want to overthink. In fact, you might even be feeling, I wish the universe would just take care of it for me. And honestly, there's nothing wrong with that, because some of you are choosing to live with grace and ease right now, to simply enjoy this moment in time while still awaiting answers. You want clarity, yes, but not at the cost of your peace. It feels as though you're choosing an elegant kind of waiting, one that flows with the current, without forcing yourself to make a decision before you're truly ready. And that is completely okay. I can feel it very clearly. There are many layers of emotion coexisting within you. A part of you wants to slow down, to savor each moment without the urgency that once drove you. Perhaps recently, you've become aware that you were once rushing too much, living too fast, pushing yourself too hard to achieve something immediately. However, when I look at the energy that's approaching, I see a very different current emerging, a resurgence of passion, a fire being reignited, a vitality awakening in you that won't let you sit still. And for some of you, hearing that might stir a slight discomfort, like you're thinking, wait, I'm not ready for that kind of burst just yet. And if that's how you feel, then that's true, and it's worthy of deep respect. Because the path of awakening or transformation doesn't always need to be fast or intense. Some people require a moment of stillness before they begin their next sprint. And you might be standing exactly in that stillness now, a space where listening, softening, and simply being is already a powerful step forward. Maybe you don't want to change too quickly. Or perhaps, if you're still carrying the presence of someone you once loved deeply, what your heart truly longs for right now isn't a fresh start, it's simply the inability to forget them. And for some of you, it may be the opposite. You're wishing you could forget that person, so you can move forward, open your heart again, and welcome a new chapter. For those in this space, I sense that a new connection may be waiting just ahead, a meeting that brings healing, a person who sees you, understands you, and loves you in the way you've always needed to be loved. The Five of Cups appears again, this time in reverse, which powerfully reinforces the feeling that through loss, you're beginning to recognize what truly holds value. Perhaps you've lost something deeply meaningful, a person, an opportunity, a belief, or something you once held dear. Maybe you've been hurt, or you've done something you regret. And that sadness, that lingering remorse, it has surely lived clearly in your heart. But at the same time, I can feel that you are now entering the phase of emotional integration, a space where you're no longer drowning in sorrow, but starting to understand what that experience gave you in return. Perhaps you are ready to stop fixating on what was lost and instead turn toward what was gained, the wisdom, the growth, the awakening. And maybe, after enough time has passed, you'll be able to look back on that pain with gratitude. Gratitude for how it shaped you into someone more whole, more grounded, more compassionate. Perhaps for some of you, even if everything still feels uncertain right now, deep in your heart you've already sensed that, someday, all of this will become a beautiful memory. And maybe, when that day comes, you'll smile, not because it hurts, but because your heart has finally healed. I want to go a little deeper here because it feels like something significant is unfolding within you. The Seven of Summer, the Seven of Cups, reveals that making a decision is what will open the new path ahead of you. And it seems that you already know this. But the reason you hesitate isn't because you don't understand. It's because you feel caught between two parts of yourself. I sense that there are two versions of you coexisting right now. One part says, take it slow. It's okay. The answer will come in time. Eventually I'll forget. Eventually I'll heal. While the other part is full of fire, passionately insisting, no, I want to move forward now. I need to decide. I want change. I want clarity. That inner tug-of-war is what's making it so hard for you to act, even though, deep down, you really want to. Perhaps you've told yourself many times, I'll begin today, only to find yourself held back by indecision or an unnamed anxiety. And that has left you feeling stuck, caught between two shores, unsure which version of you to follow. The Surrender card appears like a gentle whisper from the universe, a soft reminder to let yourself flow with the natural current. Allow yourself to rest in the ambiguity for a little while. You don't need to force an answer right away. You can choose to simply listen, to wait for a clearer sign from the universe. And maybe when that moment comes, everything will align effortlessly without the need to push or control. I have a powerful sense that your inner world is truly stirring right now. But it's not chaos. It's the quiet shifting of a turning point beginning to take shape. And yes, just as expected, the next cards emerge carrying an incredibly intense energy. Cards that feel very, very, very special, as if the universe is saying, here it is. This is what you've been waiting for. Something wonderful is approaching. The most vivid sensation right now is that you are about to reclaim something your heart has long yearned for, perhaps a passion, a love, or the ability to feel deeply moved again. What's coming your way is no longer murky, tangled, or conflicted. It is a new wave, filled with clarity, freshness, and vibrant life. I believe that what you're truly seeking right now is not complicated at all. Even if, on the surface, You feel confused, unsure of what you want, caught between conflicting thoughts and emotions. When you quiet everything down and listen deeply, your heart is longing for something beautifully simple, to live in alignment with what truly moves you. It might be a relationship that makes you feel, yes, this is the right person. Or a path, a purpose, a piece of work that makes you say, this is it. This is where I belong. You may not need 100 things. You may only need one thing that feels right, one thing that ignites your soul and makes you want to give it all your love and trust. And this reading shows that very thing is closer than ever. The final card to appear is the Rider, a powerful sign that what you've been seeking is no longer something you must chase. It will come to you when you are ready, when your energy is aligned. What you long for will arrive as a gift from the universe. And for that to happen, I invite you to live more fully in your feminine energy for the next month. Regardless of whether you're male or female, the feminine aspect exists within all of us. It is the part that receives, that softens, that allows itself to rest and be loved. Try releasing expectations. Let go of the urge to control or push for results.
Slow down.
Be gentle with yourself. Trust that you are worthy of receiving good things, naturally, effortlessly, and with love. Receiving doesn't only mean letting others do things for you. It also means allowing yourself to rest, to release the constant role of initiator, and instead learning to trust, surrender, and listen. Rather than always planning or calculating the next move, try letting things unfold more organically. Rather than striving to act, allow yourself to feel. Instead of constantly doing, carve out space to dream, to imagine, to expand your vision of what your future could look like. Let your intuition guide you, because that is the soul's natural compass. When you truly connect with that feminine part of yourself, the part that listens and receives, the things you long for will begin moving toward you. The Moon card appears as a sign that your most intimate, unspoken desires are being heard by the universe. And they will be answered. You will find what your heart has long yearned for, what you might call the one. This is it, in about 3 months. And when it arrives, you'll know. It could be a person, a path, a job, or an opportunity. Anything that makes your heart tremble with the knowing. This is what I've been searching for all along. From that point, around the 4th or 5th month, you'll begin to ask deeper questions. What do I want to do with this? Who do I want to commit to? Am I ready to devote my full energy to this? And that will be the moment of decision. Once you recognize what truly matters, you won't want to delay. Something within you will ignite, like an engine restarting after a long rest. That's when you'll enter a phase I would call spiritual tightening. If you've previously moved slowly and gently, here you'll become focused and deliberate. It's as if the time has come, and you won't hesitate to stay up late. Pour your whole heart into building something you believe in. This marks a powerful shift from passive waiting to wholehearted commitment to the path you've chosen. And when that shift happens, you'll feel, this is when I'm truly alive, truly burning with purpose. I sense that because you're slowly reigniting your inner fire, both your actions and your inner world are beginning to shift in a deeply positive direction. And what's especially significant is that the final card that appeared once again is the Rider, a clear sign that not only are you changing internally, but you're also starting to attract external transformation, particularly in your relationships and your connection with the world around you. As you begin to pour your whole self into something, whether it's your work, a passion, or your core life values, you'll start to notice that your dedication creates a kind of positive pressure, a healthy tension that propels you forward with more energy and determination. And from that moment onward, the flow of relationships around you will begin to evolve as well. You'll encounter new people, those who resonate with your frequency, who share your ideals, or simply those who help you move forward on your path. And not only that, the very thing your heart has been longing for will begin to show itself through these new connections. It may arrive as an opportunity born from a relationship or a soulmate-like bond emerging while you're immersed in doing what you love. When you truly shine from within, those who are meant for you will naturally be drawn to that light. In fact, for those of you who are already involved with someone, there's a strong possibility that your partner will sense the shift within you and take tangible steps forward. This could be a confession of love, a proposal for deeper commitment, or meaningful actions that bring your relationship to the next level. The Rider card also carries a message of swift movement, the sudden arrival of good news, or a clear turning point. So for those of you who have been feeling like things are moving slowly or stuck in delay, know that the next 6 months will bring a powerful sense of forward momentum. What you've been hoping for may arrive unexpectedly and even exceed your wildest expectations. This is a strong and positive current of change. And it all begins with you, with your willingness to live authentically, to pursue what you love, and to allow yourself to shine. When you radiate from within, the universe responds in kind, with gifts that match your light. I feel this with great clarity. From now through the next 6 months, everything will begin to accelerate. If you've been feeling uncertain, unclear about what you want, or carrying a vague sense of confusion, this is your message. You'll find your answer. And not only that, you will be infused with fresh energy, inspiration, and passion to move forward with confidence and purpose. The most important message for this current phase is this: allow yourself to live in a state of receptivity. As the previous cards have emphasized the feminine energy, now is the time to treat yourself with gentleness, to soften, to let go rather than tighten your grip in control. What's needed right now isn't to force an answer quickly, but to avoid falling into a state of mental overload or pressure. Some questions are not meant to be solved by logic. They are meant to be felt by the heart at the right moment. If you're unsure of what to do next, try connecting with the world around you in soft, intuitive ways. Talk to someone you trust, play a YouTube video that calls out to you, or simply go for a walk and remain open to a sign from the universe. The Look for a Sign card is a gentle reminder that the answer you seek isn't trapped inside your head. It's quietly revealing itself through the small and subtle things all around you. And your heart. I'm truly drawn to the energy radiating from the image of your heart, as if something is about to unfold that touches deeply on emotions, love, or a connection that reaches the very core of your being. I feel compelled to listen more closely to this. Perhaps it's a turning point event or a special person who will arrive and stir your inner world. So now, I'm drawing from the Lenormand deck to gain more clarity about this, about what is about to touch your heart. What emerges is a clear omen. Both your love life and your work, or more broadly, your entire life, are gradually entering a phase of stability. The image of the anchor, a symbol of groundedness, appears here as a message that the most essential foundation in your life is being solidly reinforced. And because of that, I sense that in the coming period, especially within the next 3 months, you will begin to feel a greater sense of focus, security, and inner calm. Your life is beginning to root itself in something stable and dependable. And let's take a look at what else is waiting for you. Wow, absolutely beautiful. A card from the Romance deck has appeared. This is the card of love, emotional elevation, and fulfilling happiness. It carries the energy of intense romantic emotions, sweetness, and overflowing affection. Over the next 3 months, it seems your heart will be filled with a deep sense of joy and emotional abundance. Not just the feeling of being loved, but also the satisfaction of witnessing the things you once longed for, once deeply desired, now beginning to manifest into reality. The card strongly emphasizes the theme of receiving. You will be receiving so many blessings. And it's not just 1 or 2 good things, it's an abundance. Joy, love, words of affection, recognition, new opportunities, and even those things you once thought were out of reach. All of them will begin flowing toward you like a downpour of blessings. And because of this sense of fulfillment, you'll feel your life, both spiritually and materially, anchoring into something steady and secure. From this solid foundation, a new chapter will begin, a phase where you truly gain momentum, where your actions become bold and decisive. I sense that this very stability will empower you to make a significant decision, a turning point into which you'll pour your entire heart and soul. It'll feel as though you're declaring to yourself, "This is it. Now I'm stepping into the real game." And that is exactly why, in the near future, you may begin to feel empowered, filled with renewed faith, and ready to step into a pivotal phase of your life. For instance, if you've been feeling uncertain about your feelings toward someone, unsure of whether or not they're truly right for you, then in the coming time, you'll likely reach a clear, decisive conclusion. Something like, yes, it's them. A choice made with clarity and conviction, no more hesitation. Or in love, perhaps your confession will finally be accepted and reciprocated, bringing you a sense of complete joy and emotional fulfillment. In your career, you may come across a long-awaited opportunity, something that feels like a dream job appearing at just the right time, or an invitation coming from the very place you've always felt drawn to. And if you've previously been working just for the sake of money, then in the coming months, you'll have the chance to pursue something with genuine passion, something that makes you feel truly alive and aligned with your authentic self. This entire stream of positive change will unfold gradually over the next 3 months, like a slow but steady unfolding. Little by little, you'll begin to notice your life becoming brighter, more hopeful. And at some point during this period, you'll start to feel full, emotionally replenished, healed, and ready. And it is from that place of fullness that your real journey, your grander beginning, will commence, likely around 6 months from now. What's happening now is not an ending, but rather a period of completion, of being recharged, a time of gathering strength and clarity before launching into your next chapter. That's why the feelings of ambiguity and confusion you're currently experiencing are an essential part of this transitional phase. I sense that you're in a moment where everything that no longer aligns with who you are is beginning to surface more clearly, and as a result, discomfort and uncertainty are rising along with it. You're someone who, once you've identified what you truly want, becomes incredibly decisive and committed. But when you're still caught in hesitation, the lack of alignment between your inner voice and your outer actions causes you to pause and reflect. It's possible that neither of your current options is the right one, and that's precisely why you haven't moved forward yet. But at some point within the next 3 months, the right path will reveal itself. The answer you've been waiting for will arrive, like a beam of light that shines straight into your heart, leaving no room for doubt. I sense it will be a moment when you can say to yourself with full certainty, "This is it. I've found it." So, in the next 3 months, the most important thing you can do is return to the voice within. Ask yourself, what is it that I truly want? Take the time to get clear about this, to begin integrating into your life the things you genuinely love. Live according to your inner values, meaning let yourself be the center, not the expectations or opinions of others. When you do that, you'll begin to feel a sense of fullness from within. Because when you intentionally give yourself what your heart longs for, you are, in essence, nurturing your own soul. And from that sense of inner fullness, something truly magical will unfold. You will move directly toward the life you've always longed for, clearly, confidently, and without doubt. Because when your inner world finds its balance, the path ahead becomes illuminated. This is also echoed in one very clear message: comfort and the feeling of belonging are the answers you've been searching for. If you're torn between several choices, ask yourself this: among these options, which one makes me feel most at ease? The answer will come not from logic, but from your emotional response. As the reading has shown, 3 months from now, your heart will be filled, and that fullness cannot happen if you're still living in discomfort or pretending to be someone you're not. It's simple. If something makes you feel uneasy, it can't bring you lasting joy from within. So start with the little things. Nurture your feminine energy, your softness, empathy, and care for yourself by creating a space that feels truly comfortable. Even when choosing your outfit for the day, don't just wear what others say looks good. Wear what makes you feel good all day long. The same goes for your hairstyle. It doesn't have to be elaborate just to earn compliments. Instead, choose a look that makes you smile, that makes you feel like you. If you enjoy switching it up, styling it differently, go ahead. As long as it brings you joy and a sense of freedom, that's what truly matters. If you feel the need for a more relaxed, gentle state of being, then allow yourself to shift your lifestyle in that direction. Move toward a simpler, more comfortable way of living, a style of dress, a way of showing up in the world that puts you at ease. Because this period is truly the time for you to release the invisible chains that have been holding you back. A reality that is full, soft, and comforting is drawing near, and in order to receive it, you need to let go of what no longer fits. The challenge, however, is that these bindings are often hard to recognize because you've grown so used to them. Some burdens have been with you for so many years. They're like heavy shoes you've worn so long you've forgotten their weight. Sometimes it takes someone else to point it out before you even notice. But even when others offer helpful advice, you might instinctively resist because it can feel like they're denying your past, and that can trigger a defensive reaction. For example, if someone suggests that you walk away from a relationship or let go of something that has dragged on too long, instead of accepting their advice, you might feel the urge to hold on tighter, wanting to prove that they don't understand you completely. And that, too, is a very human instinct. That's why, in the time ahead, the most important thing will be your honesty with yourself. Honesty about what truly brings you comfort and peace. Ask yourself, where does my heart feel light? What makes me feel genuinely at ease? And from there, begin gently removing whatever weighs you down. As you start living in alignment with those emotions, beautiful shifts will begin to unfold. I sense that right now, you're yearning to live fully for something, a passion, an emotion, a truth within your heart. You're seeking that one thing that makes you feel, yes, this is it. A sense of deep resonance. A resolution that quiets the uncertainty within you. And looking at the overall flow of energy, I truly believe you'll soon find it. It won't come from the mind, but from the fullness in your heart when you choose what's truly meant for you. So today's reading, though I didn't initially expect it to open up such a radiant path, ultimately revealed a truly beautiful vision. I have this strong sense that what you're hoping for looks exactly like this. A journey where you get to live in alignment with your emotions, where you discover what satisfies your heart, and from that, a future unfolds, clearer, warmer, and much more peaceful. If today's reading sparked even a small light, or soothed some part of your inner restlessness, I'm truly happy for that. I hope you found at least one suggestion, one sign, or one insight that brought your mind a little more ease. If you enjoyed this content, don't forget to like and subscribe to support the channel. Your encouragement is a huge motivation for me to continue creating more meaningful readings. And if any message today touched your heart, please leave a comment, or even just a small symbol so I'll know it reached you. I truly cherish every bit of connection and always look forward to hearing your thoughts. Thank you for staying until the end of the video. I'll see you again in the next reading. Hello to everyone who chose Pile 3. Thank you for waiting. Now, I'll begin the reading dedicated to those of you who selected this third group. I hope this reading brings you healing, new insights, and moments filled with love. Today's theme revolves around the meaning of the present and what you truly desire. And just like in the previous readings for Piles 1 and 2, where the natural flow led us not only through the present but also toward glimpses of the future, this third pile will likely unfold a complete picture of your upcoming journey as well. However, I'd like you to focus your attention on this central point. What is it that you're truly moving toward? What is it that your heart genuinely longs for? Let's take a look at your current moment. The three cards that appear are the Dreamer, Blessings from Heaven, and Nine of Autumn. There's a very clear feeling that you, the one who chose this pile, are standing at the threshold of something new. It seems like you've already taken the first few steps down a completely new path, not because you were pushed, but because you chose it yourself. This is a path related to something you've always wanted to do, or something that has long held a deep place in your heart. You may be starting your journey toward the dream that has truly been calling you. At the same time, the reading also reveals that you've recently released, or are actively trying to release, something that has weighed heavily on you. Whether it was a situation, a relationship, or an internal burden, you're now moving away from that heaviness and into something more aligned with your spirit. I sense that you are someone who has carried a great deal of responsibility on your shoulders, not just in your work, but also in your relationships, within your family, and in the way you've always tried to hold everything together. You've lived in a state of constant effort, constantly bracing yourself, always trying not to let anyone down. But now, this present moment marks the beginning of your process of releasing those burdens, piece by piece. Maybe you haven't completely broken free just yet, but at the very least, you've stepped outside the old boundaries and are now heading toward a freer space, one that is more in alignment with your true nature. You are entering a new chapter of your life, a chapter where you get to live for yourself, rather than for responsibility or the expectations of others. You're not only someone who takes on responsibility, but also someone with a deeply rooted sense of justice. You are an incredibly kind person. Even when you've had desires of your own, like wanting to go down a new path or live in a way that aligns with your true self, the first thing you tend to think about is, will this hurt someone? Will someone be disappointed by my decision? You haven't been able to easily cast off the responsibilities you carry, and that's exactly what has made you continuously prioritize others while time for yourself has gradually diminished. There may have been dreams, ambitions, or desires you've had to set aside, not because you lacked courage, but because you were too thoughtful, too deeply concerned about the people around you. However, in this present moment, I sense that many of you have already begun telling yourselves, it's time to start living for me. Perhaps not everyone has spoken these words aloud, but a quiet decision has already been made within your heart. You're starting to realize that if you keep living solely for others, you'll eventually run dry, drained of your own essence. The reading also reveals a very clear energy, the liberation from codependent relationships. There may have been someone who depended on you emotionally, financially, or spiritually. Or perhaps the reverse. You may have been dependent on someone else, whether it was a person, a job, or a way of life. And now, you are gradually stepping out of that loop. I feel a very powerful message of severance. An unhealthy cycle is finally being brought to an end, and you're entering a phase of complete renewal. Maybe you've already let go. Or perhaps you're at the final stretch, right at the point where you're about to fully walk away from what has been holding you back for so long. This is happening because you're starting to understand, more clearly than ever, what truly makes your heart beat faster. What are your genuine passions? What makes you feel free and alive? Some of you have already started doing something new, and the more you do it, the more joyful you feel, like, this is what I was meant to be doing all along. And because of that, you're starting to think, maybe that old thing isn't really necessary anymore. The entire reading gives me a very clear sense. You are standing at a pivotal moment of transformation, a time of shedding the old to welcome the new. It's a phase where you're gradually letting go of what no longer fits in order to move toward what truly brings you joy and makes you feel most like yourself. Alongside that, I sense something else just as clearly. You are beginning to be recognized. This recognition might come from others, people who are finally seeing and acknowledging all the effort you've quietly poured into everything over time. But more importantly, it's coming from within. You're starting to see yourself through gentler, more compassionate eyes. You're beginning to say to yourself, I really have tried my best. And that, right there, is a profound form of self-recognition. You may have been someone who rarely praised yourself, always feeling like you had to do more, be more. But now, you're slowly realizing that everything you've done, everything you've endured, has formed the very foundation of where you stand today. You're starting to see the thread that links your past and present so clearly, as if you can look back and say, so this is why I had to walk that path, to be able to stand here now. And along this journey, perhaps you've also come to recognize certain talents, abilities, or unique qualities that have always belonged to you, things that were inherently yours, but that you might never have truly acknowledged before. Now, you're beginning to see them clearly. This is my strength. And you're ready to use that strength to live authentically and continue down the path you've chosen. You may have also let go of something, a former dream, an idealized version of yourself, or a past attachment, through a very positive and peaceful process. A gentle release, without resentment, without regret. And it's precisely that release that has opened the door to a new beginning. A fresh start where you can fully express your abilities, not from a place of obligation or sacrifice, but from a place of wholeness, confidence, and alignment with your true values. So, if we were to distill the true meaning of what's happening in your life right now, it would be this. You are undergoing a process of awakening. You might be in a phase of release, letting go of what's outdated or no longer aligned, in order to begin a new journey. And with that letting go, some of you may be experiencing confusion, emotional turbulence, or having to face challenging changes. Mood swings, relationship pain, or puzzling, exhausting situations, all of these are part of the transformation you're undergoing. I know there are some of you who may be thinking, why does everything feel so chaotic? Or why am I so exhausted? But it's precisely in moments like these that you're being drawn closer to the light. Because on the other side of difficult experiences, there is always something positive waiting to be discovered. It's because you're moving toward the light that anything misaligned with your growth is beginning to fall away, and that's why this process feels so intense right now. I also sense that you're someone who has already started to recognize this truth. You're no longer just swept up in events, but have begun to perceive the deeper meaning behind what's unfolding. Still, I completely understand that while you're in the middle of this phase, it's natural to feel tired, drained, and even lost. For those of you currently in that space, facing emotional pain, confusion, and uncertainty, I just want to say, you are being liberated. Heavy layers are peeling away. Chains that once seemed inseparable from your identity are cracking. And it's through those cracks that the light begins to seep in. The energetic current around you is guiding you toward a future where you will be able to live in alignment with what your heart truly desires. You'll be able to do what you love, live a life you've consciously chosen, not one shaped by obligation or outdated expectations. That path is already unfolding, and you are standing at the sacred threshold of your personal transformation. So when we speak about the meaning behind everything that is unfolding in your life right now, perhaps many of you have already started to sense why things are happening the way they are. However, I want to go a little deeper, because this meaning is not merely about temporary lessons, but something that reaches into a much deeper layer. The reason why you chose to come to Earth, why you chose this life, and what your soul's mission is truly aiming for. In other words, this is why you are being called to awaken right now. 3 cards emerged: Great Gratitude, Deception in Reverse, and Let's Go. The moment these cards appeared, I immediately felt a shift in energy, as if a message was coming through that needed to interrupt, to be heard before we dive further into the theme of soul mission. And it's an important one. The first message I received is loud and clear. It is time for you to stop living through the lens of others. Living for others, giving, understanding, being kind. These are beautiful qualities, and they are naturally a part of who you are. But now, you are being reminded that it's time to transform that way of living into something greater, into a way of life where you are aligned with your own truth, and from that space, you radiate your value outward. Not because you seek validation, not because you fear disappointing others, but because your own authentic presence becomes the source of light. The deception card, appearing in the reverse position, indicates that you are gradually breaking free from an illusion, perhaps a facade within a relationship, a living environment that no longer resonates with your truth, or simply a mask you've worn for too long to maintain an image. Even if it once served as a means of survival, it's no longer needed. Your soul is yearning to shed that layer and live in authenticity, genuinely and truthfully. And the message of let's go comes through like a gentle yet firm reminder. The time is now. It's time to step out of your comfort zone, to leave behind old roles, and begin walking the path of living as your whole self, with sincerity, with freedom, and no longer confined by how others see you. So before you even ask about your life purpose, what the universe wants you to do, know this. You cannot fulfill any true mission if you are still living someone else's life. What you are experiencing now, all the shifts, the inner turmoil, is the necessary passage leading you back to your authentic self. That is why this awakening moment is so profoundly important. What I want to share is not that you should completely abandon living for others or stop giving. Because your devotion, your compassion, and your constant thoughtfulness toward others, that is something beautiful. It's a profound gift you bring to this world. However, I sense something very important. You may have been giving so much of your energy, time, and heart to someone or to a group or an environment that honestly does not appreciate you the way you deserve to be appreciated. That person or that organization may not be deliberately taking advantage of you, but the energy reflected in the reading suggests a kind of emotional drain, as if you are continually giving with nothing returning to you. Because you are so kind, you find it difficult to say no when someone turns to you. The moment someone needs you, you pour your heart into helping them. And on some level, being needed gives you a sense of value. That's completely natural because every human being has the need to feel seen, to feel that they matter. I'm not saying you live for recognition, but the deep yearning to be seen and acknowledged sometimes leads you to pour all your energy into places where you're not receiving anything close to what you're giving. You try to please, to take responsibility, to carry the weight, until your shoulders quietly grow heavier without you even realizing it. Perhaps you've become so used to being the one who carries, who endures, who is there for others, that you've stopped asking, but what about me? What am I actually receiving from this relationship? This life holds no meaningless experiences, and I truly believe that every moment carries its own inherent value. However, when a relationship, a position, or a circumstance only leaves you drained, when you're always the one carrying the weight without receiving anything in return, then it's time to pause and reflect. Are you truly receiving love, respect, or at the very least, gratitude from the person or place you keep giving to? If the answer is no, then this is the moment to return to yourself. Because your heart, your kindness, your life energy, they are all precious. They deserve to be placed in a space that truly honors and nourishes you. So, one of the most important things right now is to let go of the obsession with how others perceive you. Let go of the need to constantly worry about what people might think, or whether you're disappointing someone. Even if someone speaks kindly to your face, there is no guarantee they don't speak the opposite behind your back. Because human beings, by nature, are complex, and not everyone is as sincere as they may seem. I'm not saying that the people around you are all insincere or unkind, but I want you to realize something important. Not everyone is capable of understanding the love you're giving. You may love someone deeply. You care, you nurture, you sacrifice, and you hope to receive just a bit of sincerity in return. But some people simply do not have the emotional capacity to understand your love. Not because you're wrong, but because there is a gap in perception, in frequency, or in other words, in the level of soul development. And this has nothing to do with who is better or worse. It's not about being above or below anyone. It's simply that you and they exist on different emotional wavelengths. Perhaps you love with depth. You see others through eyes of compassion and forgiveness, while they, lacking the life experience or emotional maturity, are unable to truly recognize the value of that love. In such cases, continuing to offer your love may only lead to further pain, as you're not being understood. Worse still, you may be misinterpreted, met with resistance, or even receive negative energy in return. Resentment, rejection, or hostility. If you've been feeling lately that you've given so much only to receive ingratitude or painful responses in return, this reading carries a clear message. An old chapter is coming to a close. Relationships, circumstances, or energetic environments that no longer align with you are beginning to fall away. This is the moment to step out of your old vibrational pattern and rise into a new frequency, one where you no longer have to prove your worth, no longer have to pour yourself out just to be understood. Because the love you carry within you is vast, it deserves to be placed in spaces that resonate, that nourish, and are mutually supportive, not in places that leave you constantly wondering, why don't they understand me? Why is my love met with coldness, or even resentment? Let the old chapter end. Let whatever no longer aligns with your energy naturally fall away. A new world, filled with genuine connections and people who truly see the light within you, is waiting just ahead. The fact that an old frequency is ending means you're truly stepping out of that energetic space. Or more accurately, you've already left it. Your soul has always belonged to a higher frequency, but perhaps you once tried to adjust yourself to fit into the environment around you, to blend in, to maintain relationships, to simply survive in this world. That doesn't mean you lowered yourself. It just means you tried to resonate with a vibration that was never truly yours. And that's why you've always felt discomfort, a sense of not fully being yourself. Maybe you once thought, I guess this is just how life is, we have to endure. Perhaps you believed that pain, injustice, or loneliness were inevitable parts of growing up. So you kept trying, kept holding yourself together, kept sacrificing, as if that was the price of living with integrity. But this reading wants you to know, you no longer have to live that way. The old frequency, the old lessons, the old cycles, they're all closing now. The universe is sending you a very clear signal. You've learned enough, and now it's time to step into a new reality, one where you no longer live under the gaze of others, no longer exhaust yourself trying to please, no longer sacrifice your essence, just to be allowed to exist. Now is the time for you to live for what truly makes your heart beat. You're allowed to live with joy, with excitement, with freedom. You have the right to choose what makes you feel light, to be yourself, to shine in your own way, without having to fit into any mold. So you no longer need to strain yourself trying to explain, justify, or convince anyone to understand you. Let them think whatever they want, because you owe no one an explanation for the path you've chosen. Those who truly resonate with your energy will naturally understand and stay. As for the others, let them drift away. Their role in your life has already been fulfilled. And you don't have to force yourself to feel grateful in any reluctant or artificial way. It's enough to simply recognize, it was through that experience that I came to understand what truly matters to me. That alone is sufficient. That is the final gift those challenges have left you, a moment of awakening, an invitation to step into a life that is truly yours. The fact that you once found yourself in environments, relationships, or situations that didn't align with you was, in fact, a wake-up experience. Through it, you were able to see just how heavy and exhausting life can become when you are not living in harmony with your true frequency. And even though you don't have to force gratitude, if over time you can transform those emotions into understanding, or even just a gentle letting go, the path ahead will feel much lighter. If you can simply say, thank you for those experiences for helping me realize what truly matters, then you have already liberated yourself from the past. So now is the time for you to move forward with clarity. No need to look back anymore. What needed to be understood, you have understood. What needed to be learned, you have learned. Now is the moment to move ahead, toward what your soul truly came to Earth to do. I can feel very clearly that this is a pivotal moment, a turning point in which you may come to recognize the true purpose of your existence in this lifetime. Perhaps you have lived a life that didn't fully reflect who you truly are, trying to conform to external standards, stretching yourself to fit into molds that were never made for you. But even that was a deeply important part of your journey. Because it was through the misalignments, the limits, the wounds, that you came to recognize your true self. And now, the energy is inviting you to return to the stillness within. A stillness that is not an empty silence, but a deep cleansing, a sacred inner space where you feel grounded, where you can touch the purest essence of your being. Cards like serenity, dream, and silence arise together like a gentle whisper from the universe. Come back to the sacred space within you. You were not born to chase after the external world. You were born to live in alignment with your inner world, a world rich in imagery, depth, intuition, and sensitivity. For the world within you is the mirror that reflects the world outside. When peace resides in your inner being, the world around you will gradually become harmonious as well. You are someone who is connected to higher energetic dimensions, perhaps a starseed, a soul carrying the mission of bridging higher vibrational realms. That is why maintaining stillness in your heart is the very gateway through which light flows between the visible and invisible worlds. You don't need to achieve something grand to prove your worth. Simply by living in accordance with your inner truth and preserving the serenity within, you are already fulfilling a profound mission. Keeping calm, or in other words, keeping your heart at peace, may sound simple, but in truth, it is part of your sacred purpose. It is the embodiment of harmony. When your soul is in a balanced and harmonious state, when you live in such wholeness, you are actively fulfilling your mission. In fact, this is the mission that all of us, as human beings on Earth, carry within. For this planet, since the dawn of time, has resonated with the frequency of love and harmony. And now, we are on the journey of returning to that original vibration. As each person gradually remembers this and begins to live with an awareness of harmony, the world will naturally become more peaceful. Of course, society will still witness protests and movements that speak out for certain causes. And such expressions of consciousness are important, for at times, they serve as catalysts for awakening. Yet at the same time, it's clear that if resistance and opposition continue unchecked, they may unintentionally give rise to more division and conflict. Therefore, the most crucial question remains, is your inner world at peace? In other words, are you living in truth with yourself? That is the real answer. So then, what kind of environment will help you maintain that state? Whether it's your job or any other pursuit, the essential thing is that you are able to keep a calm, steady mindset, not swept up in the chaos of the outside world. When you are in such a relaxed and peaceful state, that is when you are most deeply connected to the universe. So perhaps your role, your mission, may not appear as vivid or prominent as you once imagined. Maybe you've become familiar with terms like the indigo, who came to spark revolution, or the crystal, who came to heal. But your role lies in a very different realm, that of harmonization of balance. It may surprise you, but this is the truth. And from the energy I'm sensing, I have an intuitive feeling that you may belong to the Blue Ray Soul Group, a group known for its vibrational frequency of harmony and healing through presence. Blue Ray souls come to Earth not to make loud or dramatic changes, but simply to hold the frequency of love and peace, allowing it to radiate outward. In this current phase of soul evolution, I sense that many from the indigo and crystal groups are beginning to complete their earlier missions. The indigos, who once carried a rebellious spirit, a strong desire for transformation, and a deep sense of justice, are now entering a new stage of inner transition. They are turning inward, beginning to heal themselves, and adopting a softer approach to life. Likewise, the crystals, whose purpose was to heal through gentle and nurturing energy, are now merging into a new level of consciousness. All of these shifts are gradually converging toward the awareness of the Rainbow Children, a generation that embodies the frequency of light and integration of all spectrums. And it is here that the Blue Ray consciousness plays the role of a bridge, a transitional phase where all souls are learning to live in inner harmony, so that together we may co-create a world of peace. Blue Ray souls don't need to do anything grand. Your presence alone is enough to radiate the frequency of healing and harmony to those around you. And I truly believe you are one of these souls. So if you've been carrying the feeling that you must do something, a certain mission you've always believed you need to accomplish, try letting it go. There's no need to keep clinging to that sense of duty. Because in truth, you already are fulfilling your role, effortlessly and naturally. There's no need to be constantly aware of it or to force yourself to live up to it. Don't think you have to do something big. That thought belongs to the old era, the age of Earth where people lived by duty, responsibility, and achievements. But now, we've entered a different time. This new era invites you to return to a feeling of ease and comfort. Where do you feel truly at peace? What does happiness mean to you, personally? What does fulfillment, abundance, and success look like in your own life? Your task now is nothing more than to be honest with these questions, to live in your own way, and to create a life that brings peace and contentment to your heart. That very act of living authentically in harmony, without forcing yourself into any mold, is how you are contributing to building a more peaceful world. A world where each individual lives in alignment with their soul, and therefore, conflict, competition, and struggle cease to exist. So, as I've shared before, you don't need to interfere with or try to fix the parts of the world that still seem chaotic or disordered. Don't blame, don't react. And don't try to change what hasn't yet come into harmony, because resistance itself is not the energy of harmony. Even if you believe that doing so is right or necessary for others or for the planet, at this moment in time, that approach no longer aligns with the level of consciousness you are moving toward. This Earth exists across many dimensions, and each person is learning lessons appropriate to the dimensional plane they currently inhabit. Every soul has its own role within these varying realms of existence. And that is enough. It's not about being higher or lower than anyone else. It's simply that you are walking the path your soul has chosen to grow and shine. And so, the world you are stepping into, the world your soul is preparing to merge with, is one of gentleness, harmony, lightness, and freedom. A new dimension of Earth where souls like yours can truly live, breathe, and simply be. I can feel one key theme emerging very clearly right now, and that is purification. The energy of cleansing, of release, of letting go, is surrounding you strongly at this time. You may have already started to sense it, or perhaps you've unconsciously come into contact with this concept recently. In the imagery of the cards that have appeared, I see the element of water quite prominently, and this further reinforces the message of purification, of shedding what is no longer needed. This purification is not merely about tidying or removing physical things.
It runs much deeper than that.
It may manifest as a need to distance yourself from certain relationships or old connections that no longer resonate with your current vibration. It could also appear as the urge to declutter digital data, documents, or your living space, but on a more profound level, I sense that this is a time when you are being invited to cleanse what lies in the spiritual, emotional, and deeply inner layers of your being. The presence of the King of Cups gives me the sense that you are someone deeply sensitive, highly intuitive, and profoundly perceptive. But as you move through society, interacting with energy layers that don't resonate with yours, playing by the rules of the so-called adults, those who operate from a different level of consciousness, you may have gradually dimmed or lost touch with your raw sensations, your pure and innocent intuition. Over time, you may have become more gentle, more agreeable, and while that's not a bad thing, it's possible that, in the process, your capacity for subtle perception has become somewhat dulled. I feel that some of you watching this reading were once extremely perceptive, highly attuned, but due to having to live and behave according to social standards and frameworks that never truly belonged to you, you lost a part of that sharpness. And now, this is the time to reclaim it. This is the time to purify. Not to return to what once was, but to come back to a version of yourself that is clearer, more refined, liberated from the veils of dust that have accumulated over your soul throughout this journey. Therefore, in order to restore your sensitivity and depth of feeling, the first message I want to share with you is this. You need to reconnect with your own emotions. And to do that, healing the heart chakra, your energetic heart, is an essential step. Now, I'd like to gently guide you through a simple heart chakra healing. If you feel this part isn't for you or you're not interested, feel free to skip it. But if you're open to receiving, then let's begin together. First, bring your hand to the center of your chest, right in the middle of your sternum. You can place one hand or both hands there, depending on what feels most natural. I will send healing energy to your heart chakra to soothe, balance, and gently reopen the energy at this sacred center. This energy will also help release old wounds, soften any hardened blocks, and dissolve the invisible walls you may have built around your heart. I sense that many of you may be in a state where your heart has been closed off. Perhaps due to past pain, you've lost trust in others or found it difficult to open up again. Some of you may have even told yourselves, "No one is worthy of my trust anymore," or "I don't want to be hurt ever again." And as a result, your heart has gradually shut down, unable to receive the subtle vibrations your soul truly needs. Just breathe gently, slowly, and deeply. As long as you stay relaxed, soften your body, and allow yourself to receive this energy, your heart will begin to warm again, to soften, and to heal. I also sense that you are someone incredibly deep, someone who trusts easily and always wishes to give your love wholeheartedly. You love with your entire being, always ready to sacrifice for others, and at times, you simply cannot comprehend how someone could hurt or betray another. Perhaps you've asked yourself, why would anyone act that way? What meaning is there in causing pain? Because to you, love is something sacred and pure. It is for this very reason that I deeply hope your heart will find healing soon. Because this world truly needs hearts like yours, hearts that know how to give, how to feel, and how to be moved by kindness in the most profound way. And this journey back to your emotional self, beginning with the healing of your heart chakra, is the gentle gift you can offer yourself right now. So now, gently place your hand over your heart, the place where you've carried so much pain, where memories have weighed heavily on your soul. During this healing process, old emotions may unexpectedly rise to the surface. And if that happens, allow them to come. Don't resist them. Don't try to push them away. Just observe them, not to judge or blame anyone, but simply to acknowledge, yes, I was deeply hurt. I've been through so much. Then gently say to yourself, you've been through a lot, haven't you? Just by recognizing that emotion with kindness, your heart will slowly begin to find peace again. I can feel the energy moving very clearly in this space, right in the center of the chest. During the healing process, I channel energy through my own body, and what I sense is this. It seems there was once a space of missing love within your heart. A part of you has longed for gentleness, for understanding, for the feeling of being held and cherished. And now, I am sending you that very energy, the energy of pure love, of deep empathy, of unconditional acceptance. I am connecting with you through my own body and heart. As I heal myself, as I open to love, that energy naturally flows to you, through my voice, through the frequency you're sensing in each word. Even though this is a distant healing, even though there is a time gap between the moment I recorded this message and the moment you're receiving it, the energy is still being transmitted in its fullness. Just trust and let go. You are not alone. Your heart is being gently soothed, and love is slowly returning, little by little, to fill the empty spaces you've silently carried for so long. I can feel very clearly that healing energy is sinking deeply into you, layer by layer, moment by moment. Perhaps there have been times when you couldn't be gentle with yourself. Maybe you've suppressed your emotions for too long, wanted to cry but couldn't, felt hurt but tried to ignore it, carried anger you never allowed yourself to feel. But it's okay. Emotions are sacred. They are part of what we bring with us into this world. We came here to fully experience them, and only when we allow ourselves to feel do we truly begin to live. And the beautiful truth is this. As you begin to reconnect with your authentic emotions, your unique abilities will also begin to awaken. It may sound strange, but it is in returning to your human essence, to a heart that knows how to feel and empathize, that the gateway opens to your deeper gifts. I, too, have only recently come to truly understand this, that living as a real human being, with tears, with laughter, with a full spectrum of emotion, is, in itself, a profound act of surrender to the universe. Allowing yourself to feel pain is not something to be feared. On the contrary, when you fully experience an emotion, it naturally dissolves, releases, and leaves behind a lightness within. You won't lose anything, so you can rest assured. Everything remains, but your heart becomes more balanced, more grounded, and more at peace. At this moment, I sense that your heart chakra has been soothed, realigned, and brought back into harmony. Everything is okay now.
Can you feel it?
That gentle warmth, that soft, buoyant sensation like a breeze brushing through your chest. I hope you are feeling that serenity, that sense of inner refuge. When you allow yourself to truly feel, when you can say to yourself, I see now how much it hurt to hear that, or I was deeply saddened when they turned me away, in that very moment, you are holding your inner child in the purest form of love. Tell yourself, it's okay. I'm hurting because I have a heart. And know that you are the one who will love, hold, and heal yourself. Just one simple phrase, it's okay. I love you. And when spoken from the heart, to your own soul, that, in itself, is a miracle. That's why I believe it would be truly beneficial for you to spend time with everything we've just explored, as a way to return to yourself. When you genuinely allow yourself to feel, to relax, and to heal, your intuition, the wisest part of you, will naturally begin to awaken with greater strength. That is certain. As for the meaning behind what is currently unfolding in your life, it aligns exactly with what I've just shared. You are being invited to return to your true self, to reconnect with your emotions, and to honor the most sincere desires your heart has been whispering. And now, I'll move into the core message of today's reading, what your soul truly longs for. It is this: you want to focus on one single thing. In essence, you are deeply craving simplicity. Everything around you may have felt too complex, too layered, with too many forces pulling your mind and heart in different directions. But now, all you want is to simplify. You want to live with lightness, with clarity, without fragmentation. The True Love and Intentions card reveals that what you deeply long for, in the very depths of your being, is to be truly seen and accepted for who you are. to be accepted by yourself. You want to know, with clarity, what it is that you truly desire, and more than anything, you want to give yourself permission to live in alignment with that truth. You yearn to learn how to embrace every emotion you carry, even the smallest ones, the joy and the sorrow, the anger, the wounds, and the soft stirrings of your heart. Because up until now, you may have grown used to wearing a calm face like a mask for survival. You've been hurt, exhausted, lonely, yet unable to show it outwardly. There have been times when you had to endure, had to push yourself just to avoid disappointing others. You've trained yourself not to think what shouldn't be thought, not to feel what shouldn't be felt. Perhaps you once told yourself, I can't dislike this person, or I can't say no to that request, even as your heart cried out in weariness. You've constantly reminded yourself not to be weak, not to get angry, not to feel that things are unfair, and so you kept suppressing everything deep inside. But now, because you've been holding it all in for so long, your heart is crying out for release, yearning to be free to be itself. To no longer hide, to no longer repress, to feel, to love, to live in complete authenticity. That is what your soul desires more than anything else in this world. Your subconscious is whispering to you now, feel it all, allow yourself to fully experience every emotion. Remember that you have every right to be who you truly are. You are worthy of freedom, of liberation, and of being loved exactly as you are. This is the voice of your soul, calling you not only to recognize your authentic self, but to open your arms and embrace that self, once all the masks and burdens have been laid down. Your desire to focus on just one thing right now carries a deeper meaning. I sense that you are someone who has long juggled many things at once, highly capable, multi-talented, and consistently successful in everything entrusted to you. Because of that, it's possible that you've stirred envy in those around you. I don't say this to plant any limiting beliefs, but truthfully, you may have experienced unfairness, being misunderstood, talked about behind your back, or even betrayed, simply because you were too gifted, too warm-hearted, too radiant. You are someone with immense ability, and your capacity to love runs deep. But it is also because of this light you carry that, at times, you may have unintentionally become a mirror reflecting the emptiness within others, triggering their insecurities and prompting them to distance themselves from you. Even so, I feel that you no longer need to carry those wounds into your future. The past is what has happened. It does not define who you are. What matters now is that you are entering a new chapter, one where you are allowed to live more simply, more gently, focusing only on what truly matters to your heart. You are in the midst of a process of refinement, letting go of what no longer fits, what is no longer necessary, whether it be relationships, responsibilities, or old expectations. This is the transition from energetic dispersion to a state of purity, wholeness, and focus. Your heart is saying, I want simplicity. I don't have to do everything. I just want to be myself and live in alignment with what truly moves me. And yes, you have every right to do just that. And if there is someone special by your side, someone your heart continues to return to, I can deeply sense that you genuinely want to move closer to them. Not in a loud or dramatic way, but through a quiet, meaningful, sincere connection. You want greater closeness, a more harmonious bond. Perhaps you are longing to love just one person, to pour your whole heart into that connection, to nurture it, to turn it into something sacred and peaceful in your life. And if there is still something standing in the way of that connection, whether it comes from you or from them, from circumstance or from unhealed wounds, you are now more than willing to face it all. You no longer wish to avoid or wait. You want clarity, healing, and to clear away everything that once stood as a barrier so that you can love fully, simply, and in alignment with your heart. I sense that you are on a journey of purifying love, returning to its most honest and profound form. And the person you are in love with, whether they've recently entered your life or have been walking beside you for many years, is a soul of great significance to you. Perhaps you've already felt a bond that transcends logic. It is a soul connection, a sense of deep familiarity, a calling from within that you simply cannot ignore. You no longer crave complexity. You're no longer chasing noise or distraction. What you truly desire is a relationship that speaks to your heart, a space where both of you can be your true selves, where love is calm, whole, and deeply real. And if you haven't met this person yet, I believe that deep within, you've already sensed this truth. You are not born to walk this path alone. Your soul chose to have a companion, a kindred spirit, a soulmate, someone who will arrive at the right time. That time is when you have truly learned to love yourself, when you are ready to embrace yourself with unconditional love. Because only when you feel whole from within can you truly recognize and welcome the one who is meant to walk beside you on the journey ahead. I feel with great clarity that you are at a stage in life where you deeply desire to enter a relationship that is genuine and profound, a bond that can endure across the chapters of your life. The longing to touch something real is growing stronger than ever. You no longer want to live within anything superficial, artificial, or insincere. Your heart is calling out for true love, a love that heals, that supports, that unites you soul to soul. And it is precisely because of this longing that you are now ready to release what no longer serves you, the things that once brought you pain, the relationships that were not born of sincerity. You no longer wish to compromise with what isn't real. You want to open your heart, but only to receive what truly aligns with it, what is honest and worthy. I sense that you are someone profoundly blessed, a soul filled with light, with virtue, and with an energy that naturally attracts good fortune. Perhaps you've often thought to yourself, I'm so lucky, or maybe others have frequently told you, you're incredibly lucky. And even if you're feeling sadness or weariness right now, the very fact that you've been guided to this message is clear proof that your core energy is one of divine luck, a soul who stores up goodness and in return, receives blessings from the universe. You are someone who is always met with the right opportunities at the right time, who meets the right people at the right moment, who steps onto the right path exactly when you're meant to. This isn't random luck. It is the fruit of a kind heart, a life lived with inner grace, a spirit that has cultivated beauty from within. And now, all of that is returning to you, in the form of new doors opening, of worthy people appearing, and of true love waiting to welcome you in. Keep trusting that you are someone blessed with fortune, not out of illusion, but because it is an intrinsic part of your soul's nature. You are worthy of beautiful things, and the universe is smiling upon you, guiding you ever closer to true love, the love your heart has always been reaching for. It's possible that part of the blessing you are receiving today comes from the merits cultivated by your ancestors long before you. But more than that, I deeply feel that you, yourself, have lived with a heart that knows how to give, that offers without calculating. You have lived with love, consistently radiating goodness, and it is that very energy which is now returning to you as the universe's gentle response. Now, I will draw cards to see. What kind of world are you moving toward? What does the next chapter of your journey hold? The first thing I see very clearly is this. Now is the time for you to live in alignment with what you truly desire. Be courageous enough to listen to the calling within and take action from that space. There's no need to delay or wait any longer. When you dare to live in truth with the deepest longing of your soul, you will begin to see doors open, effortlessly and in perfect timing. The Queen of Autumn has appeared, and that is truly wonderful. It signifies that you are entering a phase where your talents will shine brightly. You not only have the ability to bring your dreams into reality, but you also carry the gift of making everything more beautiful, more abundant, more soulful. I sense that you are someone who can turn ideas into tangible creations, and you likely excel in a creative field, whether it's art, design, writing, crafts, or any form of expressive work. At the same time, I see the presence of someone stepping into your life, someone who will assist you, walk alongside you, and co-create something meaningful and expansive with you. This may be a spiritual partner, a soulmate, or a like-minded collaborator. Whoever they are, they will offer timely support, not only through action, but also through energy and emotional presence. You carry within you the essence of a guide. You may be someone who is incredibly perceptive, with a refined sense of aesthetics and a natural ability to make everything around you more beautiful and harmonious, simply through your presence. I sense that you have a deep love for beauty, a fondness for the charming, the orderly, the graceful, and a sincere desire to make this world a more peaceful, gentle, and love-filled place. Everything you see, hear, and touch, you long for it to feel pleasant, beautiful, and genuine. And because of that, I believe you are not only someone with a deeply sensitive heart, but also someone carrying a greater mission to create a world infused with art, peace, and compassion. And this mission is entirely within your reach. You are beginning to paint a world you truly wish to live in. And when you immerse yourself in that world, when you are free to be your true self in a space of harmony, tranquility, and beauty, your inner energy will naturally become more balanced, radiant, and clear than ever before. I sense that it is in this very space where your talents will begin to blossom. No striving, no proving, simply by living in tune with your own vibration, all of your hidden gifts will begin to unfold on their own. And then, at the very moment your talents awaken, a destined encounter will also unfold. It could be a twin soul, a kindred spirit, or a deeply meaningful connection. The universe is preparing this union for you. Love and purpose, dreams and mission, all of it is being aligned to blossom together in perfect harmony. I sense that you don't just hope for this. Deep within your subconscious, you've always known it was possible. And now, the current is beginning to reveal itself clearly before your eyes. The Choose One card appears as a gentle reminder. Choose one thing, one singular thing that comes from your heart. Don't try to do it all. Don't spread yourself thin. Return to yourself and ask, what do I truly want? Then pour all your focus, love, and energy into that one path. Whatever you choose, as long as it comes from a place of truth within, the rest of your journey will naturally unfold, like a series of connected links, guiding you toward blessings greater than you ever imagined. You are stepping into the energy of a queen, someone whose mere presence transforms everything around her. You don't need to chase after anything, because what is meant for you will naturally be drawn to you. People, opportunities, support, all will begin to gather and orbit around you like a natural constellation. You are the center of the world you are creating, and when you stand firmly in that center, with peace, clarity, and self-love, the entire universe will move to support you. You don't need to fight for your place, nor do you need to strive for recognition, because you are already the light. And that light, when you live in alignment with it, is what naturally draws every blessing toward you. So it is essential that you continue to live in environments that make you feel at ease and safe, spaces where you can do what you love, honor your personal values, and never have to trade pieces of yourself just to please others. I see a clear image of you as a symbol, a presence marked by your own distinct essence, and this becomes especially powerful when you live true to your own energy. You genuinely embody the energy of a creator. Even if you're not in a traditionally creative profession, I can sense that you possess a rich imagination, an ability to generate original ideas, and often receive inspiration that feels unexpected, something outside the bounds of conventional thinking. Perhaps in the past, you were taught that things had to be done a certain way, that work must follow certain rules. But deep down, your intuition was whispering, no, this way feels more natural to me. And it's true. You have your own rhythm, your own approach that reflects your unique essence. I believe that all of us are artists because we are constantly creating the life we live. With every thought, every choice, every feeling, you are painting the world you want to live in. And you are doing it with such authenticity, such grace. You are someone with refined sensitivity, a distinct aesthetic, and a worldview that is uniquely your own. And when you dare to live according to that worldview, when you stop worrying about whether everyone will like you, and instead focus solely on what truly moves your heart, your personal essence becomes unmistakably vivid, sharp, and impossible to confuse with anyone else. In the past, you may have been distracted by the gaze of others. Perhaps you did things simply because people might approve, or because you felt you should act a certain way to avoid judgment. But now, you are entering a phase where all of that blurriness is giving way to clarity, the kind that arises when you choose what you truly love, when you direct your gaze toward what stirs your heart, and from that, create a world that bears your name. A world that is unique, pure, and deeply artistic. And that world is the gift you offer to life. As you begin to narrow your focus, to channel your energy into what your heart genuinely adores, that is when you will begin to reach the hearts of those who are truly aligned with you. Because when you try to please everyone, when you try to fit everywhere, your energy becomes scattered, and the message you carry loses its power. But when you choose just one thing, choose one, and pour all your love, attention, and creative spirit into it, something explosive begins to unfold. I sense a powerful breakthrough ahead, a radiant turning point that you yourself will ignite the moment you dare to live in devotion to what you truly love. The Be Gentle with Yourself card is a tender reminder. Be kind to yourself. I see that you have been and still are in the process of healing your heart, and that is deeply important. When you learn to listen to yourself, to pour love into your own heart, only then can you truly offer love to others in a wholehearted way. Your heart is like a cup, and when that cup is filled with your own love, what overflows becomes a gift to the world. But if you keep giving while your heart remains empty, sooner or later you'll find yourself feeling drained, lost, unsure of what you're living for. That's why the first step is always to love yourself. Fill your own heart, wrap yourself in your own arms and say, I am worthy of happiness. I allow myself to live in alignment with what brings me joy. I allow myself to be free and radiant. From this moment on, you will gradually become that version of yourself, someone who knows how to love and care for their own being, who knows how to protect and preserve their energy, who knows how to choose what matters most and pour their heart into it with devotion. The keywords coming to you now are clear: art, authenticity, love, one true thing. These are the frequencies guiding you forward. And I see a vision of your future self, gentle, free, carrying a soft smile on your lips, as if each passing day is filled with quiet joy, not because of any grand reason, but because your heart simply feels whole. In the end, what I sense most strongly is this: you are beginning to allow yourself to be happy. No more hesitation, no more holding back. You are opening the door to step into a new dimension, one where you can truly access the most authentic essence of who you are. A world full of color, of inspiration, of life, created from the love you are finally giving to yourself. The moment I saw the phrase multidimensional space, I immediately felt the energy of a connection to higher states of consciousness, places where light and love are the core essence. In those higher vibrations, when something happens, we no longer choose to view it from a place of darkness, but instead turn toward the light. For example, in the face of a challenge, we no longer ask, "Why is this terrible thing happening to me?" But instead, "Where's the light in this situation? What is it here to teach me?" And when we begin to see through that lens, gratitude starts to bloom. That is the perspective of a higher plane, the mindset of light. At the same time, I also feel something equally important. Our human emotions and experiences are profoundly valuable. Living on Earth, a realm bound by physical form, time, and space, means that to feel emotions in the way humans do, with all their rises and falls, is a deeply sacred thing. And here is the core message. Awakening does not mean separating from human emotion, but rather learning how to integrate, to unify, the many layers of experience into a point of harmony. Integration does not mean eliminating the dark, so that only the light remains. It means bringing both yin and yang into a place of balance. You may feel sadness, anger, exhaustion, and that's okay. What matters is not letting yourself be swept away by those waves. Instead, you remain at the center, at 0 point, where you neither deny nor cling to what arises, but simply witness and accept. To live on Earth is to learn how to bring high vibrational light down into the raw emotional experience of being human. It means not rejecting the negative, not trying to purify ourselves to the point of erasing emotion, because emotions are not bad. They are, in fact, the precious materials through which the soul matures. Just as there is no yang without yin, no warmth without cold. In this world, the presence of difficult emotions is not here for us to erase them, but to help us learn how to see ourselves more clearly, to love ourselves more deeply through the experiences they bring. So integration is not a state of emotional detachment or forced positivity. It is the ability to remain grounded in the midst of the storm, to accept both the light and the shadow within yourself, and from there, to live with a heart that is awakened, yet still fully human. As soon as you allow yourself to feel those emotions, your heart will gradually find more peace, and the emotional swings will no longer shake you as intensely as before. But to live as a human being on this earth is to experience joy fully when something beautiful happens, and to cry deeply when sadness comes. Those are essential human experiences. We didn't come here to reject emotion, but to live it wholly. I often feel a bit hesitant when speaking about spiritual topics like integration or inner unification because they're not easy to explain, and I sometimes wonder if I've managed to convey them fully. But I trust that you, the one who is receiving and resonating with this message, have the capacity to understand. Because you are at the level of awareness where such truths can be truly received. In truth, if we were to put it simply, it would be this: allow yourself to enjoy your human life. Live with the full spectrum of joy and sorrow. Feel the ups and downs wholeheartedly, and at the same time, hold a place of gentle observation, a broader, softer, non-attached awareness. That is what it means to live with higher consciousness, while still fully embodying your humanity. For example, you might notice, I'm really angry right now. Or, yes, this wave of sadness is coming over me. And instead of resisting it, you can gently step into the emotion like you would with a close friend, taste it, understand it, and then step out again with a softer heart. It is through this preparation, this witnessing, that you are living in a state of integration, where you can touch the depths of emotion while still maintaining inner balance and wisdom. And the beautiful thing is, you can fully enjoy life, vibrantly, richly, humanly, while still remaining connected to the purest part of your soul within. I hope that all of this has been conveyed to you with tenderness, with depth and closeness, so that you not only understand it, but feel it. Because in the end, the most important thing is not to grasp it with the mind, but to resonate with it through the heart. And so, you're someone who is ready to live in this way. You are already operating from that level of awareness, capable of dwelling in that dimension. This means you are not simply existing on Earth, but truly living in a different version of Earth, one where everything is more refined, more gentle, more profound. In truth, there is not just one Earth. Countless versions of Earth exist simultaneously, each separated by different dimensional layers. There is the Earth of the third dimension, where we are familiar with limitations, separation, raw emotion, and stark duality. But there is also the Earth of the fifth dimension, a space of higher vibration and transformation, where people begin to live from unity consciousness, love, and light. Beyond that, there are even higher realms, the ninth dimension, the 12th, and there are also lower dimensions, where darkness still operates strongly. However, what matters is not which dimension is better or higher. Each dimension exists for a reason. Each is part of the universal journey. Just as every soul has its own mission, each dimension is a classroom with its own lessons to teach. And you are the one who can move gracefully between these dimensions. When you maintain inner stability, when you stay grounded in yourself, you are free to connect with higher vibrational realms without being swept away, without becoming disoriented. You can draw inspiration from the higher planes while fully inhabiting your everyday life. You soar high, yet stay firmly rooted, and that allows you to experience the richness of life on Earth more fully and more deeply than ever before. This is the new way of living on Earth. A way of being that you are ready to step into, or perhaps you have already begun living it. A life where you hold your center, guard your inner light, and from that stillness, radiate naturally and effortlessly outward. You no longer need to struggle. You simply need to be present, and the universe will walk with you. You are ready now to cross into a new phase. A completely new chapter in your life is beginning, or has already begun. And in this chapter, you are called to stand in the role of a guide, a light bearer, a creator, one who leads through love and awakened presence, flowing from the very depths of your soul. In the future, you'll be supported and uplifted by many people around you. Others will cheer you on and encourage you because they can feel the light and positive energy radiating from you. That's why you are absolutely free to pursue whatever excites you, inspires you, and fills you with passion. If you're not yet sure what it is that you truly want to do, begin by simply accepting and listening to your own emotions. When you allow yourself to feel, when you give yourself permission to live in alignment with your inner emotional world, you'll find that those feelings become more accessible. And from that space, in a gentle and quiet moment, a spark will come, as if an inner voice softly says, "I want to try this." And just like that, a path begins to reveal itself. I sense that some of you may still be unconsciously suppressing your emotions, placing invisible lids over your heart. This can make it difficult for your true feelings to surface. But it's okay. Take your time to gently lift those layers one by one, softly, and you'll see your heart slowly begin to open and feel free again. In a previous reading, I supported you in cleansing and balancing your heart chakra. If you feel drawn to it, you might revisit that message whenever you need to reconnect with yourself. Purifying the heart chakra energy will help you hear your emotions more clearly and live more truthfully. A beautiful world awaits you ahead. Today's reading has offered you powerful insights about what you truly desire, the deepest, most sincere longings within you. Cherish those desires and hold them close, for they are the doorway leading you to the most radiant version of who you are. And because you are now in a phase where your destiny is beginning to shift, you can rest assured that everything is leading you exactly where you need to be. Things have already been moving and continue to move in a more positive direction for you. I'll bring this reading for Group 3 to a close here. If what I've shared has given you some helpful insight, or even just resonated with you in some way, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit the like button to support my work. Thank you so much for staying with me until the very end of this video. Wishing you a peaceful and lucky day. I look forward to seeing you again in the next reading.